It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, here we go. Sports Week with us, Rothman and Ice, Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, and CB. Back in the saddle, boys. How we feeling?
I feel awesome. I feel amazing. The weekend was really good. We are exactly 1 month away from the first NFL game of the season. We'll get Chiefs-Ravens on Thursday night. We'll go right into Friday and get Packers and Eagles. So that, has me juiced up.
Is that from Brazil?
That is from Brazil, and they are allowed to wear green. And this is the 1-year anniversary. We've got 2 anniversaries today, AR. One of them being the Montgomery Riverboat Brawl. You remember that, where bodies were just dropping all over the place, people getting hit with chairs. And also the 1-year anniversary of Jose Ramirez dropping Tim Anderson. So it's a good day today. And I've been seeing fights all over the place. Lions, Giants, they're fighting. It's a lot of fights going on today.
Yes, maybe we should have one right in here. Just bring it in, cage, match it up.
Just show versus show?
Absolutely, right? Keep your head on a swivel. Absolutely. I almost witnessed a little fight on the golf course. Those are always fun.
How'd that happen?
No, not really. See,
was it you?
No, I wasn't involved in the fight. It's usually what happens is that someone isn't playing up to their wanting of their ability, and then somebody says something, and then something. I can't even give you the real particulars. It's just. Everybody who's ever played golf knows how frustrating it can be, and how you handle it is very difficult for some people. And then you have to have some perspective, but everyone's out there like it's, do or die. And it's I hate when someone says, when you're going to play golf, have fun. It's only fun if you play well, for most people. Now, for some, they have an certain expectation of their own game, so they know it's not unrealistic. So it's not like, well, if I, shoot my temperature, who cares? Like, it doesn't matter. But so that's fun.
Okay.
And I just didn't know anything real specific.
Yeah.
But I was in a foursome where tempers flared a little bit, and then the over/under on maybe when somebody came to blows might have been like 11.5, except the rains came, and that calmed some stuff down.
So you're saying you turned out to be the referee in this situation? You calmed the waters?
I was actually one of the promoters. I think I was actually rooting for it to happen.
You were Michael? Yes. Was it Michael Buffer? You
That's
were announcing
right.
the names?
Let's get ready to rumble. Yes.
I didn't know if this was an AR part 2, where you and I were getting ready to brawl potentially at the Memorial a couple of years ago, where some guy was dunking on Cantlay for his pace of play, and you yelled out, "Who cares?" And it would have been interesting if that guy popped off and said something back to you, where that would have went. But just know, I would have been your tag team partner.
That.
I would have came flying off the top rope for you.
Listen, it was Friday afternoon. We were done with the show. We were relaxed. Things were flowing.
And you were ready.
I felt like I had a little posse there in case something happened. No, that's not me. I just felt like you're at a professional golf tournament. You're watching as a fan. Like, do you really care whether the guy takes an extra 10 seconds to take his...
Apparently that guy did.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So
weird, right?
I had his back a little bit, that's all. Yeah. No, all was good. Back from the Hall of Fame. What a weekend. Listen, my friends at Sugardale, they know how to VIP that thing up.
There you go.
And so it was great. Hall of Fame game was what it was. Preseason game. It was great to be there. It was... a nice night until, the thunderstorms came.
Until Halle Berry Storm, a.k.a. Storm, came to see you.
And by the way, I was just about an hour and a half late or 2 hours late on the prediction. Because when we did it, I said, you know what? I'm gonna take the value. I'm gonna take the under.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, where's the rain? You should not be taking unders, because then you're rooting for bad weather.
Right.
Like, I'm there. Why would I be rooting for bad weather? Only if I had money on it, right? So the rains came when? I don't know, late. We left at half.
Okay.
Because we had seen enough preseason football. And then we heard that this wicked storm was coming to Canton, and we didn't want to get stuck in that.
Smart call by you.
And so, but it didn't really happen until much later. But I guess they did cancel the game because I went back and watched and threw it on the hotel, and it was good. And then, but the Gold Jacket dinner and watching Randy Gradishar, who we had on the show at Radio Row at the Super Bowl, to watch a Buckeye go into the Hall of Fame was about as special. I've not been to the Gold Jacket dinner before. That's the one where they all get their jackets for the first time. The coolest part of it, and I kind of knew this was going to happen, but until you're there experiencing it, so Dan Fouts, by the way, this is the other really cool thing. About 7 or 8 of the Hall of Famers that they brought back for the gauntlet, for the new Hall of Famer to walk through the gauntlet and get the hugs and handshakes from you're entering in this club, most of them have been on our show. Most of those guys in the last couple of months have been on the show, and we'll keep that going later this month. But to watch that and to see, so Dan Fouts goes up on a stage, and he introduces all the Hall of Famers that they've brought back to form the gauntlet on each side of the stage. So some of the new Hall of Famers on one side of the Civic Center and some are on the other. And then when it's their time, they get this cool introduction, and then they appear on this pedestal. And then they step down and they walk through the gauntlet of Hall of Famers from,
I like that.
I mean, Matty Dion, Jerome Bettis, Sapp. I mean,
icons.
Larry Zonka, Tony Dorsett. Like, so icons of icons.
Yep.
The amount of talent that I was close to was immeasurable. I mean, it was one of those surreal feelings to be in there. And listen, a lot of them are up in age, elderly guys. They may get up on the stage and walk across. You know, I'm thinking like, wow, like, please, nobody trip. Like, nobody have, we can't have anything happen.
Right.
Like, when they get to the stairwell, then the other 2 Hall of Famers help them down if they need it. But the only guy that didn't do the steps was Freddie Biletnikoff. And so this is what went through my mind. So he looked at Fouts, and then he went around the stage to get in his position instead of going up on the stage and going across. And the first thing that went through my mind was not that he didn't want to do it, that it was a Raider who didn't want to pound up with a Charger. That's the only thing that I could think of.
That's the type of pettiness I live for. I hope that was the case. I really do.
So my goal now is to get Fred Biletnikoff on the program on a Gold Jacket Thursday.
We got to ask him.
And ask him, am I right? Or did you just not feel like doing the steps?
Yeah, maybe the
because he
knees
is.
aren't working.
Listen, he's 81 years old. I'm not asking him to do it if he didn't want to do it. I wouldn't feel like I'd want to do it. But I'm wondering because his last. So let's think about this. If his last year was somewhere around 80 or 81, when did? Yeah, they definitely would have crossed. Oh yeah, Fouts was quarterback in the Chargers from 73 to 87. And Fred Biletnikoff was easily there during that time. Had to be. I'm going to double check and make sure this rivalry is on.
Listen,
still,
the body,
at that age.
The body might let you down at that age.
Through 78.
But I tell you what, I don't think the pettiness, the rivalries, that never fades away.
It was
never, right?
It was funny. And I'm sure they all have great moments. And Fouts did an incredible job of introducing them. And so I want to know if that's the case. So that'll be my project for this season.
That'd be fun, man. Going back to real quick, the Hall of Fame game, like what were the stars of stars? I know they weren't doing anything on the field, but you see Diggs and CJ and Caleb Williams and Keenan Allen, they're just all kicking it. Just iced out probably and all the
CJ
links.
Certainly. Yeah. Caleb was there. Okay. Yeah, they put him up on the Jumbotron, and Lisa Salters interviewed Caleb during the game.
Oh, nice.
You know what I thought was a weird question?
Yeah, what's that?
Lisa Salters asked Caleb Williams, I know you probably would like to be out there. You know, decisions are made not to play. But if you did play, what would you have wanted to show? And I thought, if you did play,
what would you want to
it was
show?
It was just
all of my skills.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure where she was going with it.
Right.
Like, it seemed like the most weird hypothetical. Like, I know you're not playing. What can I ask you that would make it, that would bring you into present day almost?
Yeah, that is a strange question.
I'll have to find that if I can. CB might be able to find it because I want to quote her correctly. And listen, I'm doing her job. She's trying to find the guy's not playing.
Yeah.
You're interviewing him about, but that probably has to be out there.
I did see that Caleb Williams said he's on the TB12 diet. He's on that Tom Brady
What is that?
I don't know exactly what. I know it does include
Collagen?
Avocado tequila. We saw Tom Brady getting carried out of, a Super Bowl celebration. I can't imagine it's that great of a diet. It doesn't sound very appealing. And you know me, I'm a heavy diet type of guy. But I would love to know, are we going vegan? Like, what are we doing with this TB12 diet? But as a rookie, Caleb Williams is trying to tap into that. Speaking of Tom Brady, Dawn Staley, head coach for South Carolina, she fell in love with Tom Brady at the Olympics. She tweeted, I don't know if you saw the pictures that she tweeted out. Tom was over there at one of the events, and Dawn Staley tweets out, "Y'all, I cannot lie to you. Don't ever look directly into Tom Brady's eyes. This man is seriously beautiful." Tom Brady living his best life. Got Dawn Staley out
is
here
available,
folded.
maybe. Right?
Oh, I don't know what he's got going on right now. I've heard a couple different things with models, right? Like, he's probably just living a great life right now. Shout out to Tom. But, yeah, Dawn Staley, she sees the vision. She looked him in his eyes. She got weak in the knees, apparently.
That's what he can do, man. He did it to defenses his whole life, so I get that. But it was an awesome time. And so, and the other thing is, so then we went, so the magical weekend continued over at Firestone. Firestone South, the tournament course, and I really wish they still played that PGA event there. They played the champions recently there, but guess who was there?
Who?
MJ.
Your GOAT?
Michael was there, and then Michael went over to the enshrinement because he and Dwight Freeney have been friends for like 20 years.
Okay, nice.
And McAfee was also at Firestone.
McAfee was everywhere. Well, SummerSlam was in Cleveland, so that's not too far of a trek. So that but you saw your GOAT?
It was close to goatness. I was not in any real proximity.
Okay.
He stays in one of the villas there and then sends a little errand person to get his stuff back and forth. That's how you do it. That's it. When you're that guy.
You just stay in the villa and you just smoke all the cigars you want and just have everything brought to you. I see you, MJ. They've
got a little, so you can go up there and they've got almost like little hotel rooms in the clubhouse. And so I went to look at those. And each room, Maddie, is named after a famous golfer. So there's Nicklaus room, Palmer room, Tiger Woods, all that.
Anthony Rothman room.
Yes. And so I walked into one of those rooms and each room has a letter written from that golfer about Firestone and what it meant. And Tiger won there 8 times and what it's meant to them. And I took a couple of pictures and then scattered out of there before anybody saw me. And so I'm looking forward to reading those, cozying up to my phone and reading some of those great letters.
Your way in there, huh?
That's right.
I like it. I respect it.
Wait, is the bathroom this way? That's right. No, just act as if. Act as if you belong.
I love it.
We got a lot to get to today because what popped off over the weekend was maybe the NCAA playing catch-up on Michigan. How much will they get out of them? We'll let you know. Stephen Means, Cleveland.com, will jump on at 12:33 today. We'll talk Buckeyes with him. Max Chadwick will give us a big college football preview nationally. And then Ray Fittipaldo will head over to the Steel City at 2:33 and talk about the battle at quarterback and how intense that is getting. When we come back, we will dive into the allegations, the charges against Michigan. Will they hold? We'll discuss next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
If you've recently seen a photo of an older Baker Mayfield fresh off a bender, it's just Bo Bishop. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
BreezeLine's fiber-powered home internet, starting at $19.99 per month, offers the reliability you deserve and security you could trust. With a price lock guarantee, no contracts, and free equipment, you can't beat this amazing deal. Protection against cyber threats and no annoying data caps means you'll never have to think about your internet again. And now you can bundle and save when you add BreezeLine Mobile, with plans starting as low as $12.50 per month per line. Act now. Terms and conditions apply. Limited time offer. Learn more at breezeline.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
More and more people are falling into problem gambling. Mary Haven's experts offer comprehensive care. You and your loved ones can count on mental, emotional, and financial guidance.
Confidential and judgment-free. Go to maryhaven.com today.
We go to war for you.
Every day people get into an accident. Every day people's lives change. Every day the insurance giants give you crumbs and call it dinner. I'm attorney Robert Scherger. Let us go to war for you.
WarForYou.com.
Billiards Plus has everything for the master griller in your house. Come to their showroom, open the lid, and feel the difference in their grills. Professional top quality equipment at great prices with a huge selection ready to go home with you. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Hey, it's Bobby. When it comes to tackling a project as important as your roof, you want a company that cares about the product and experience they're going to deliver. At Newman Roofing, you're more than just a number. They believe in 100% customer satisfaction. And for your roofing needs, give them a call at 614-NEW-ROOF or newmanroofing.com.
End the summer with Zumbizi Bay. Soak up the sunshine and dive into an unforgettable experience for the whole family. Get your tickets now and make your final splash at zumbizibay.com.
We don't talk about politics on The Fan. Instead, we welcome Buckeyes fans, NFL fans, and anyone looking to escape the never-ending cycle of misery. You're safe here, friends. The Fan, home of the Buckeyes and Ohio's politics-free destination.
The Columbus Men's Clinic opened in 2014 for guys who get it done. Let's talk, fellas. You solve problems all day at work. You fix your sink when it's broken. But when it comes to ED and low T, it doesn't get done. We get it. You hate going to the doctor, but you're the guy that fixes things. At the Columbus Men's Clinic, there's nothing to fear and no reason to delay. We've been destroying bedroom boredom for a decade. So if you haven't fixed this, call us. When the pills fail, call us. If you feel like you've tried everything, call us. Here, there's hope. From the conventional to the next level. You'll be seen by our friendly, discreet physician who will take the time to listen. Imagine finally taking care of this with no surgery. Imagine going from feeling gray to living life in vibrant color. It's time to be confident. Join the thousands of guys who have found success after walking through our doors. Will you be one of them? Dial 614-300-7400 or go to columbusmensclinic.com to schedule a $99 male performance consultation, including blood work. Do it for you. Do it for her. columbusmensclinic.com. Book your appointment now.
Healthcare.gov is here for you when life happens. If you lost your health coverage because of turning 26, going off Medicaid, leaving your job, or moving, you could be eligible to enroll in new coverage now. And if you need to update your coverage because of marriage or having a baby, you could also be eligible. But don't wait. There's a limited time to enroll. Check your eligibility at healthcare.gov today. Life happens. Get covered. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
The Ohio Chapter International Society of Arboriculture's mission is committed to advancing responsible tree care practices. They remind herbicide and pesticide users to always read and follow the product label. The label is the law, so take the time to know how it should be used and how to use it safely. To find out more, there are over 1,000 qualified arborists in Ohio. Visit www.treesforohio.org to find an arborist near you. That's www.treesforohio.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
A few late day showers today. Otherwise, I think many of you stay dry and we stay mostly sunny. It'll be hazy out there as we have some upper level smoke moving through the area. Going 93 today. Tomorrow, a little bit cooler with a high of 90. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with a look at your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice, the #1 rated midday show in Columbus.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, looks like the NCAA is getting ahead of the Netflix, whatever it's going to be. Connor Stallions gets paid to tell people what he may or may not have done. Who knows how that's going to unfold, but it will be however they want to portray it. There was an article that popped off Sunday that Sharon Moore and 6 of the coaches and analysts are now being accused of the violation of the NCAA rules, that this wasn't just, well, it had to be the coaches. We knew they all knew about it. What did they think that Connor Stallions was providing them? Where was he getting that? Just on his normal smarts and watching film? No, they knew it. And so there's all justification in life. of everything. They justified that they were just working harder than everybody else. That's, it's like a reporter that tries to get a source, and maybe they obtain that source somehow unethically or something. Who knows? But they justified. I'm just outworking my competition. I guarantee that's what made them sleep well at night was, nope, everyone's doing it. We're just doing it better. Well, not really. And I'm not here to tell you that other schools don't do it. And I'm not here to tell you that Ohio State didn't do it over the years. Not this particular stuff, but, step your toe over the line for a competitive advantage. The draft notice of allegations, Maddie, which accuses 7 coaches of all these different levels of violations, touches on the recruiting violations and the violations pertaining to their infamous sign stealing scandal. And so it's specifically they're accused of level 2 violations and may face the show cause penalty. And this is the real teeth to it, deleting a string of 52 text messages with Connor Stallions that Sharon Moore, the new head coach, allegedly deleted the messages back in the fall on the same day that the reports of Stallion sign stealing operation became public. So the cover-up is real. And even Michigan fan would have to at least admit that this happened. I think their big defense, if there is one, is, well, how did we keep winning then?
Well,
when we got rid of it. Right.
It's the 3 games. It's the Ohio State game, and it's the 2 games in the college football playoff, which they're gonna die on that hill, and maybe that's a good hill to die on, right? When all this stuff got removed and Stallions was, to our eye, removed from the equation, they
wasn't
went
it more
on
than that.
I'm just saying, the big time games, right?
Oh, the big time
games when Stallions seemed to be out of the picture. I think that's what they would throw, I think, in some people's faces when it comes to, the national championship and all the things that they did. To me, this is no surprise. It's just been a long time. We were waiting all summer to get to this report. And, this report comes from Dan Murphy and Pete Thamel over at ESPN. And you're so right about what you said off the top. The folks over in Indianapolis, the NCAA office, they wanted to get out in front of this Untold series that's going to drop on Netflix, I believe, August 27th, and Connor Stallions is going to speak about this whole situation. I highly doubt the dude says anything as far as really putting all the blame on Michigan. I think I'll be surprised if that's the case just based off of his love for that program. Maybe that's changed. I don't know. But, this is also one of those situations where my mind goes to Jim Harbaugh and how this dude just got out of town. And Sharon Moore, you're sitting back now with a great opportunity to coach at this type of program, but all of this now is falling at your feet. And who knows what these punishments are going to look like. Is it a couple game suspension for Sharon Moore? Is it kind of a probation type of thing for the program? We all got to wait and see what that looks like. But now this is definitely going to be an uphill climb. I think, to me, one of the biggest hammers you can place on a program is the removing of some amount of scholarships. Don't know if that's coming into play at all here. But Dan Murphy, Pete Thamel with a pretty interesting report this weekend that shines another light on what we knew was a very sticky situation with how they were going about it. I mean, think about the video that came out, and Josh Pate, one of the big-time college football guys around that realm of the sport, he had the video of Stallions at the Central Michigan game on the sideline. Remember, with the sunglasses that had the blue light in them that seemed to be like a recording device, and he's in Central Michigan gear, and there's how do you get on the side? So they absolutely were crossing a line. They were crossing a line, and now, you got to pay the ticket, and we'll see what that ticket looks like here in short order.
Well, the scholarships probably mean nothing, just because now in the age of paying players, they can cover their scholarship. They can get them money.
It could hurt you depth wise though for your roster. That to me is pretty significant. If you're taking a program and telling them that your roster is going to shrink, that's a pretty big deal.
I don't know how all that works on whether they can just cover the money somehow and still have the same amount of players. Maybe you're on scholarship and I'm not, but I get money somehow to make that up. Who knows? But yeah, this is one of those things that there's really no real justification for it. There isn't. We've talked about this forever. I'm getting a little fatigue of it, but doesn't mean they shouldn't be heavily punished. I mean, when you talk about 13 different opponents, 58 separate times, for a couple of years. And so wearing the bench pass, coaching gear, disguise, sneaking onto another team's field with presumably their help, because why not? Why wouldn't? Maybe the head coach, gave him a pass.
Which is weird, right?
The fact that he utilized interns in this operation. Yeah. This was
a whole squad of people, man.
So and they paid him to do it.
Yep.
And they did it with, the motivation of winning games and getting a competitive advantage, a massive competitive advantage. And the beauty of their competitive advantage is they all also had very talented players. Yeah. That's why I hate the justification of, well, did it really help? We won without him. We beat Penn State, Maryland, Ohio State, all without Harbaugh even. Then Alabama in the Rose Bowl. Yeah, of course, you were talented. I get it. That makes it work. It's the whole steroid excuse. Well, Barry Bonds was a great home run hitter before. Well, then why did he take them? Why did he do it? Because he felt it would give him even more of an advantage. And that's why they did it. Desperate times called for desperate measures, and that's what happened here. And I don't know how anybody could not admit this.
I think there's a lot of people that would be with you on that. It's just one fan base that would push back. That's really it.
But what's the real defense? Is the one I just said that it didn't matter? That it doesn't matter.
We'd have to ask them, because I don't know what they would be thinking. But I think 98% of the college football world would be with you with exactly what you said. And you use, a baseball, kind of a layout there with how that could equate to this. It's very similar to what we saw with the Houston Astros too in 2017. That roster, those dudes were talented. Jose Altuve and Bregman, we know the name. But guess what they were doing? They wanted to get over the hump, so they were banging trash cans in the dugout. And Jose Altuve had some type of device under his jersey where he lied to the world and said, the reason you can't take my jersey off is because I don't want my wife to get mad at me. They were absolutely taking the cheating to a whole nother level, and they probably didn't need to do it because they were good enough. And that's exactly where Michigan was last year. We knew they had all the experience in the world with the leadership that they had. They got sick of losing to Ohio State. They got sick of not being able to win the big one. They found a guy that found a loophole in the system. Harbaugh and everybody on that staff was on board with it. They allowed it, and that's why they got to deal with the punishments that are coming their way now. That's how I look at it. I can't look at it any differently.
I think Harbaugh was smart enough to be disconnected from it while still being very much aware of it. I think that's probably where the genius came, is that other people were going to take the fall if this ever. And by the way, Sharon Moore, great motivation, because I'm going to be a $30 million, 5 years, $6 million a year type of guy. So if I have a couple years where I can't go to a bowl game, who cares?
Right.
Honestly, the motivation there was the winning, and everyone got on board, and this is where we are. We'll talk more about it. We'll come back. We'll entertain our guy Stephen Means, Cleveland.com, and find out what camp battles he has seen so far. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
This is your daily reminder that Michigan sucks, and they're a bunch of cheating-ass cheaters. I'll be back tomorrow to say it again. The Fan.
Common Man here for Care Heating and Cooling. Weather is unpredictable, but the inside of your home should be comfortable just the way you like it. And the best way to avoid those unnecessary surprises is with a care plan. See, with a care plan, you get priority service, system maintenance in case of an emergency. Just another way to give you and your family peace of mind. And maintaining your systems properly can help save you money. A properly maintained furnace and air conditioner run more efficiently, reducing your utility usage. Regular maintenance also prevents breakdowns and extends the life of your equipment. I'm on the care plan, and I'm quite the expert. I'll stop by and give your system a once-over. I will. Don't tempt me. I end every commercial the same way, telling you to hire Care when you need a company you can trust. It's not just the slogan. That's the Care creed. How about this? Lennox. They have thousands of dealers nationwide. HVAC royalty. Last year, Lennox gave Care their coveted Partner of the Year award because they're trusted by their customers and their partners. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com when you need a company you can trust.
Hey there, Weekend Warriors. Austin Ward here. Sick of that slice? Tired of those 3 putts? What if I told you your handicap isn't about your swing, it's about your weight? Why not take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame with the Waken 180? We're talking 10 strokes off by August, getting your tour card by September, winning your first major year 1. Think about it. Fame, fortune, and most important, winning $5 off your buddy because you, sir, are closest to the pin. Taking strokes off your game is just 40 pounds away at awaken180weightloss.com. Awaken 180 does not guarantee an immediate 10 strokes off your score, receiving a tour card, or the ability to control the weather. Individual results may vary. Your newfound athleticism might cause jealousy amongst your foursome, leading to accusations of steroid use. Awaken 180 is not responsible for defending your honor in the clubhouse. Awaken 180 cannot guarantee that your newfound golf prowess will lead to a sponsorship deal, but we can't not guarantee it either. Awaken 180 is not responsible for any dramatic fist bumps or unsolicited golf tips you give to strangers. Awaken 180 does not offer refunds for any lost wagers made on your improved golf game. Bet wisely, my friend. Strokes off your game by dropping pounds off your frame. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Attention weekend warriors. Fan Sports Saturday has moved to 10 a.m. Join Eric Reeser and Tyvis Powell as they dive into popular topics like the Buckeyes and Tyvis's liquid diet.
Saturdays from 10 to 1.
The Fan.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here from my friends at High Bank Distillery Co., located right here in Columbus. Introducing their newest product, 614 Vodka, Ohio's house vodka. Perfect to make a drink at home or try when you're out at your favorite local restaurant. Learn more at 614vodka.com.
Hi, this is Ron from the Good Feet store. Are you standing on painful feet all day? Don't lose hope. We want to help you live without pain. Discover your options and visit goodfeet.com.
This is the White Castle Call of the Crave, and it's telling you to come in now for 10 cheese sliders for just $7.99. 10 cheese sliders for just $7.99. Boom! White Castle. Follow your crave. Limited time only, tax not included.
End the summer with Zumbizi Bay. Soak up the sunshine and dive into an unforgettable experience for the whole family. Get your tickets now and make your final splash at ZumbiziBay.com.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
This year, Dell Technologies Back to School event is delivering impressive tech with an inspiring purpose. Learn how Dell is helping Computer Aid, whose work is helping solar community hubs with tech and AI literacy skills to empower remote, displaced, or disconnected communities around the world. Help Dell make a difference and shop AI-ready PCs powered by Snapdragon X Series processors at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Helping you ace your afternoon. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, our guy Stephen Means, affectionately known as Natron Means on this show, Cleveland.com, and he means business when he covers the Buckeyes. He's the beat writer, and he's with us now on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. All right, Steven, it's great to talk to you, my man. How's camp going?
I thought the last 4 days were just information overload in a way that I don't think we've had in a couple of years here in terms of I feel like I know so much, and I'm just that much more intrigued about what's going on with this 2024 roster.
All right, so give me some of that intrigue because most of it seems pretty on the surface for me. I know there's some camp battles. There have to be, Hicks, Styles, maybe the quarterback, how they're going to deploy the running backs, but at the right side of the offensive line, like what is the most intriguing to you right now that is still yet to be answered?
Yeah, I think it's really just two of them because the C.J. Hicks, Sonny Styles thing, I don't know if it's necessarily a battle and more just let's see how they use them. I think what you're going to get is a similar situation to what we saw last year. And some of this is just based off of what Knowles was talking about on Friday when we got a chance to talk with the defensive coordinator, Jim Knowles. I think Sonny Styles is just going to be the starting will linebacker, and Jordan Hancock's going to be the starting nickel. And when they go in situations where it's a three linebacker set, remember last year we saw situations where it almost felt like Sonny Styles and Jordan Hancock were sharing a spot depending on what they were seeing from the offense. I think this year it's sort of similar. It's just the guy coming off the field in kind of in those situations is going to be C.J. Hicks. So when it's three linebackers, it's C.J. Hicks. When it's two linebackers, I think it's just going to be Sonny Styles in that situation. Other than that, offensively, it's two. It's that right guard spot between Carson Hendren and Tegwa Shabola, where that's the clear only place where I think it's not a bona fide, this is going to be the starter. yet, and both of those guys have flashed some things in camp so far. And so it's a situation of, do you go with Carson Hinsman, who you played at center last year, so he has experience, but maybe he was out there a year too early, or is Tegra Shabola right on schedule and ready to go win a starting job for you? And then I just think Will Howard's the starting quarterback, and the real battle and the real intrigue is, will Julian Sand truly push Devin Brown to be Ohio State's backup quarterback in a way that we get to the midpoint of the season, and if Will Howard, something happens to him, we see Julian Sand on the field? Or is this more of a futures conversation of Julian Sand just going to be a starting quarterback in 2025?
Yeah, that's kind of where I wanted to go with you, is the whole Julian Sand buzz that's out there and the pressure that you alluded to that he's applying right now, potentially to Devin. We don't know, we don't know everything, but we've seen some things and heard some things, so maybe that is real. But for the folks that really haven't tapped in a lot to Julian Sand's game, I know we got a sprinkle of it in the spring game. Like, what do you understand about his skill set? What have you seen from him, the body type, like all those things when it comes to Julian Sand?
I think Julian's going to be special, man. There's some C.J. Stroud elements to his game, the anticipation, the way he processes information, the way he can layer throws. It's all there. Now, granted, Sunday at practice, he took a step back. You have to remember, this is still a true freshman we're talking about. So there's going to be some days where it just doesn't look as great. There's going to be some moments where he throws a pick six, whether it's against Jalen McClain in the spring game or he throws one to Jermaine Matthews on Sunday during practice. It's just going to happen because he is still a freshman, and so there's still going to be growing pains there. But if we're talking about upside, it's not even close. That kid's got the most upside in the room in terms of the way he could maximize the playbook, the way we saw C.J. Stroud do for 2 years. While with Devin Brown, I think these last four practices, I saw why he pushed Kyle McCord last fall. But I also saw why Kyle McCord eventually won that battle. He's got the strongest arm in the room. And downfield as a threat, it's all there. But then also for every one of those 40-yard bombs where it's like, oh, he's the only quarterback in the room who can do that, there's a swing pass where he's 5 yards behind the running back and he's throwing it into the dirt. It's so much of a roller coaster for a guy who's in his third year. And so when you're talking about two guys who are still that erratic, maybe in how their play is, where the upside is there, but then the low points are just as there, where do you lean in those situations? And I think we would all tend to lead younger in those situations because that guy is more likely to at some point develop out of that, while the old guy might just be he is what he is.
Yeah, it's a great point. I don't know if you asked Ryan Day and Chip Kelly in a private moment, who is the most talented quarterback they have in the room? Are they answering it? Julian Sand, no doubt. But with this certain team, you need so much more than that. You need all the experience. You need that maturity. You need the grit. You need guys that have been in bigger games. I mean, they can't just entrust this offense to an inexperienced quarterback, it feels like to me.
I mean, they could. They shouldn't. They could, just because the early season schedule is just so favorable that if he's making mistakes against Akron and Western Michigan and Marshall, who cares, right? It's not going to be consequential. But to your point, you can't afford maybe he's still making those mistakes against Oregon. Maybe he's still figuring it out by the time you get to Penn State. When two of your three biggest games on your schedule are not in your own home stadium and they're in places that can get pretty crazy, especially in big game situations, I don't think you can take that chance. But I do see over the last 4 days them giving Julian Sand every opportunity to show them, hey, there's something here. There's something special. But also, when he makes a mistake, like when he threw a pick to Jermaine Matthews, when he threw a pick the other day, I believe, to Caleb Downs, they yank him immediately. And it's like, nope, we gave you your opportunity. You did some things well, but you also did this, and you have to learn from that. So going back down there with the 2s and 3s and get back into development mode. I think they're handling the Julian Sand situation the right way so far, where it's like you give him a little, you give him a little, you give him a little, and anytime the freshman reminder pops up, you snatch it back, because you can do that this year because, to your point, you do have experience in front of him and Will Howard.
So it could be a very long road for this team, as you know, potentially playing 17 games, that they're going to be the last team standing, and depth is going to be a massive deal. I've heard so many college football coaches talk about it this offseason. I want to ask you about the running back room right now. Quinshon, Travion, we know how talented those guys are, but the room took a bit of a hit with the calf injury that was reported a couple weeks ago. Between James Peoples and Sam Williams-Dixon, which one of those guys do you think could be ready to contribute this year if their number needs to be called?
I think both have flashed a lot. in fall camp to, I think most people may be a little bit more surprised with Sam Williams-Dixon being able to do so, because it wasn't even all the way sure that he would be a running back for his entire Ohio State career, but I think he's looked pretty good. But James Peoples, man, I just look at him, he looks like J.K. Dobbins. Seriously, physically, the fact that they're both from Texas also helps, but physically, that kid is light years ahead of where most true freshman running backs are at. And so it's almost a situation where, remember back in 2022 where Dallin Hayden had to play so much because Travion Henderson and Mayan Williams were dealing with injuries. If for whatever reason that plays itself out this year with Quinshon and Trey and they've got to miss some games, I don't think fans should be worried that James Peoples isn't going to be ready for the moment. In fact, I think next season in 2025, we're going to be looking back on this year and be going, oh, the reason why James Peoples didn't play more is because 2 of the 5 best running backs on the planet in college football just so happened to also be on his roster. Because if they weren't, I think Ohio State would be fine running the ball. Both of those guys, I think, have an opportunity to really flash some things in his first 3 games that could put fans' mind at ease about what the future of that room looks like. But also, to the point you made about T.C. Caffey being gone, there's a walk-on, Rashid Cisse, who I think has looked pretty good as well. So when you're looking for depth, especially in some of these games where you're trying to put teams away after you're up by 2 or 3 touchdowns, they've got options this year that I don't believe any of us were of that mindset heading into fall camp. I think that they've put some minds at ease over the last 4 days.
Great stuff with our friend Stephen Means from Cleveland.com. Appreciate you, my man. We'll talk again soon. Thank you.
Anytime, guys. Thanks.
That's Stephen Means on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. All right, guys, if you're feeling tired, lacking motivation and drive, gaining weight, noticing a little muscle mass loss, could be signs of low T. Don't wait. Find out. At Low T Center, they're going to make it easy to get your levels checked. Simple test, on-site lab, get your results back in about 25 minutes. So as I've mentioned, it's not a typical doctor's office. Their physicians specialize in treating low T with customized therapy or TRT for each patient. So the experts at Low T Center have over a decade of experience helping patients achieve their life-changing results. Most health insurance is accepted for treatment for established patients with stable T levels. They also offer convenient physician-monitored self-inject treatment plan that will ship directly to your home every month. So there's no need to come in for weekly visits. And at Low T Center, you can also get your health evaluated for treatment with weight loss medications. So get back to being your best. Go to lowtcenter.com. Book your appointment today. lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care. All right, we come back with Party Like a RothStar. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey, have you heard about Tim Hortons' new happy hour? Get 50% off summer menu drinks after 2 p.m., Monday to Thursday.
50% off?
Yeah. Try the new Cocoa Caramel Crunch Iced Cap, Butter Pecan Cold Brew, Mango Frozen Lemonade, Solar Splash Tim's Boost, and Berry Cherry Refresher.
There are so many options. That's really good.
Discover a new favorite with Tim's Summer Menu and enjoy 50% off during happy hour. Only at Tim's. Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. Terms apply.
Ah, the sounds of summer. The crack of a bat, the splash of a pool, and the dreaded silence of a broken AC. No. Don't sweat it. Call the Waterworks Heating and Cooling Team for an AC tune-up. Schedule a visit today and stay cool all summer long. All set. Call the Waterworks Heating and Cooling Team, 614-333-9720, or schedule service on our website. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better AC.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Hey, it's Anthony from my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. It's time to strike. 0% APR up to 36 months on all new 24 Accords, 25 Civics and Honda Pilots, and CRVs. How about a 24 Passport or a Honda Prelude, even a 24 Ridgeline? Rich is throwing it out at 0% APR up to 36 months. Only from my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. They're on Sawmill Parkway, just south of 270, with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Bobby Carpenter once sold workout equipment on QVC Canada. There's no joke here. That actually happened. Morning Juice with Bobby and Beamer.
Weekdays starting at 6.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Direct Auto Insurance is for uncompromisers. The people who refuse to make trade-offs in life. Like Kelly, when her old car insurance got so expensive that she couldn't afford to drive anymore, do you think she started carrying her groceries for miles? No. But she did find Direct Auto's savings that allowed her to drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25%, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a quote today at directauto.com. Savings based on applied discounts and will vary. Terms apply. How you buy can affect price. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Shop Meijer for all your back-to-school essentials. Pull out your supply list and check it off as you go because it's all in one stop. Find Crayola 24-count crayons, Crayola 12-count colored pencils, Elmer's glue, and Meijer 100-sheet composition notebooks, all for just 50 cents. Plus, select backpacks are 20% off. You'll get an A+ in savings when you shop back to school in one stop at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in-store or in the Meijer app.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Airflow Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Let's all gather into the Kiki. It's time to party like a RothStar.
All right, Ice. So many choices.
Yes, sir.
I mean, we could do like the entire thing on the Olympics, but I'll probably include one person, but maybe 2.
Okay.
You know, I might throw in 2.
2 Olympians.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right, go ahead.
I think I know who one of them is, but I'm going to let you have the floor with that.
Okay.
I'm going to start with a guy that dunked on my baseball team this past weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And that is Blake Snell.
Was that Friday night?
Oh, my gosh. It was Friday night. He came into GABP and absolutely cooked my Reds in the form of a no-hitter. 9 innings, no hits, not a single earned run, only 3 walks in the game, and he had 11 strikeouts. And it's not even just this game, AR. Like, he's just been on one recently. Like, he really has. His last handful of starts, he's only allowed 2 earned runs. His last 2 games, 26 combined strikeouts. Like, I thought he was getting traded somewhere. I really did. I don't know what the heck the Giants were doing, but we've seen this guy win a Cy Young. We all felt bad for the guy. I remember a couple years ago when he was in the World Series with Tampa and he got pulled out, and who knows how. It feels like that would have made a massive difference if he would have stayed in the game. But it hurt me to do this. It hurt me to watch it. But I got to acknowledge greatness when I see it. And right now, Blake Snell is on. When he cooked my Reds, Blake Snell partying like a RothStar.
It's weird we're in an era of if your pitch count doesn't align, you may not even get a no-no. Like, that's the weird part. I can't even fathom being a pitcher who would be throwing a no-no and getting yanked because of a pitch count. But I think they all get its big picture time now. Maybe it doesn't mean as much to some as it used to. But, yeah, that was an epic night for him. You're right. It's not how you start. It's how you finish. So I'm going to go with 27-year-old Noah Lyles. I'll take it back a year to the World Athletic Championship. This was in Budapest. He won gold in the 100-meter, set a personal best. That was 9.83. Then a couple of weeks ago, he set a new 100-meter personal best of 9.81 in London. And then this weekend, he went even lower. Yes, he won the 100-meter gold. He won it at 9.78 and a photo finish lean at the wire to prove it. It was 0.005 seconds, from the next best person. And the great part about it, it doesn't look like he stormed back after a tough spot, but technically he was in 7th halfway through the race, which is amazing. So his victory put America back atop of the sprinting stage for the first time in decades. First American, I believe, to win the 100-meter gold since Justin Gatlin in 2004. So it's been a long time, and it was the closest finish in the 100 since you go back to the 80 Olympics that was in Moscow, perhaps ever. It was that good of a race. So Noah Lyles, who kind of dunked on Team USA hoops, don't call yourself world champions. You're not playing against the world.
He backed it up.
He did, and he got it. Party like a RothStar.
I like it. Good call. Second candidate for me. Ohio was on fire this weekend. You were up at all the Hall of Fame stuff right here in our backyard. We had that big-time soccer match at the Shoe with grass on the field. But up in the land was SummerSlam. And on Friday, in pressure, I put Triple H on the pressure list. He's the creative director. He runs everything. He puts everything in order for us wrestling fans to enjoy the show. And my goodness, did Triple H deliver, because SummerSlam was an absolute banger at Cleveland Browns Stadium. You had Dirty Dominic Mysterio, him turning on Rhea Ripley and making out with Liv Morgan in front of the world. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre with Seth Rollins. Finn Balor turning on Damian Priest. That was a banger. And then, to end the show, the original Tribal Chief returned. Roman Reigns, he came out. He knocked Solo Sikoa's block off, which I absolutely loved, hit him with the spear. I had goosebumps when I saw my Tribal Chief come out of the tunnel there. I cannot wait for Monday Night Raw tonight. Cleveland delivered, SummerSlam delivered, but I got to give it to Triple H. He took over for Vince McMahon, and he's been cooking. The dude put on a heck of a show on Saturday in Cleveland. Triple H partying like a RothStar.
All right, I'll go to I'm not a big fan of regular big sports that are in the Olympics. To me, the Olympics are track and field, swimming, just classic Olympic sports. But Scotty Scheffler is now just toying with dudes on the golf course.
The man.
It's, 4 shots behind Xander Schauffele and John Rahm, final round for gold. A ton of bettors loved Rahm because he took down Tiger in 18 in the Ryder Cup at Le Golf National. And, but when Scheffler's out there playing ultra aggressive, starting 4 shots back, it's just scary. The 4 straight birdies down the stretch, 9 under 62, just child's play for him. He set an Olympic record for 72 holes, 19 under. So he's the man. 6-time winner on the tour this year, including his second Masters, now Olympic gold. So, and I do want to give a little honorable mention, and you know how tough this is going to be for me. Not a big Joker fan on the court, but objectively speaking, the fact that he beat Alcaraz yesterday, in 2 tiebreakers and 1 gold on clay, I thought that was a really big deal.
Revenge, right?
And yes,
coming out of Wimbledon,
yeah.
Okay.
And so he gets him on that surface, and he looked as good as he's ever looked. And so Scheffler and Joker get my double party like a RothStar in the Olympics.
I like it. I'll end my list this week with an Olympian myself, and I'm talking about Anthony Edwards. By the way, happy birthday to Anthony Edwards. He just turned 23 today, but he led Team USA in scoring on Saturday versus Puerto Rico with 26 points. That output, it helped them win Group C. They grabbed the 1 seed for the quarterfinals. This dude's just an absolute star in the making, man. He really is just special. Last year, averaged 26 points a game. That had him ranked 12th in the NBA. 2-time All-Star. He was second-team All-NBA this past season. He may be the leader of the 2028 USA basketball team here in a few years. I love watching him play, but more importantly, I love when he's behind a microphone, and he provided us with one of the funniest moments to end the season. Play that.
I have not been to Minnesota in probably 20 years.
Bring your ass. Bring your ass, AR. Bring your ass. Anthony Edwards, a.k.a. Ant-Man, partying like a RothStar in the Olympics.
Sergei Bobrovka has competition. I like that. All right, I'll end mine back at the Hall of Fame. Friday night, when Dan Fouts introduced the Hall of Famers to form the Gold Jacket Gauntlet for the new enshrinees to walk through, it was a moment. And when you think about, so they offered up this stat at the Gold Jacket dinner, and one that really stuck with me. And somehow they've computed that 350 million people have somehow suited up to play the game of football at some level.
Wait, how many?
350 million.
Wow.
Have suited up somewhere. House league football, you name it.
Flag
high school. Well, I don't know. I don't think that counts.
Okay.
Maybe that does count. I doubt it. Tackle football. They didn't say tackle. You know how many of the 350 million have one of those jackets up there in Canton?
Very small number.
378.
Yeah, wow.
Of 350 million that decided I'd like to play football. And so they had more than 100 returning Hall of Famers welcoming the new class. And it was really cool. Archie Griffin was sitting at the table next to me there for Gratishar. And when you think about how much talent has come through Ohio State and how the handful of guys have gone on to the next level and then gone to the next level of being a Hall of Famer. And you know the old line, it's the one team you can never get cut from, the one team you can never get released from, and now you're forever immortalized. And, you know, the busts talk to each other at night. And by the way, I forgot to tell you guys this. I did talk to my dude from London. We had a conversation at the Hall of Fame. Why don't you just tell me the player you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, how's that work?
And I did. He was there. He was.
And you swear, you think he's lying?
I taped it.
Come on, there's no
I
way.
taped it. I'll even play it for you guys.
There's no way a human can hold
think it
that
was
much
AI?
information. It has to be. It has to be.
Why don't you just tell me the player you'd like to hear about? Francis Tarkenton? Brent? I'm telling you, I had a conversation with him again. Now, maybe it is AI, but
it's got to be
they've nerded him up pretty good. And so that's it. But Grads and his wife Beth and the wave to the crowd at the Gold Jacket dinner party like a RothStar, man. That's outstanding. All right, SportsCenter update top of the hour here, and we'll get into some Brownies talk. We have a Browns defensive lineman that's comparing a rookie to a future Hall of Famer. We'll connect those dots next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Scotty Vegas here from Maxima Concrete. From a basic driveway replacement to a complex in-ground pool, patio, or outdoor kitchen installation, Maxima can do it all. Pavers, natural stone, seating walls, even lighting and landscaping. Everything is in-house with Maxima, so buy from the guys that will actually perform the work. Mention 971 The Fan for $250 off your next project. Get a free estimate today by visiting MaximaConcrete.com.
Ready for all those warm weather get-togethers? Fill up your grocery basket at Giant Eagle. Giant Eagle's Deals for Days program features more than 1,000 deals on your favorite items, so you can save more on what you like most. Barbecue parties, graduations, communions, they're all easier to plan when you buy at Giant Eagle. These low prices are available for a limited time at your Giant Eagle and Market District, so save today. Find more information on Deals for Days at GiantEagle.com.
Hey there, Weekend Warriors. Austin Ward here. Sick of that slice? Tired of those three putts? What if I told you your handicap isn't about your swing, it's about your weight? Why not take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame with Awaken 180? We're talking 10 strokes off by August, getting your tour card by September, winning your first major year one. Think about it. Fame, fortune, and most important, winning $5 off your buddy, because you, sir, are closest to the pin. Taking strokes off your game is just 40 pounds away at Awaken180weightloss.com. Awaken 180 does not guarantee an immediate 10 strokes off your score, receiving a tour card, or the ability to control the weather. Individual results may vary. Your newfound athleticism might cause jealousy amongst your foursome, leading to accusations of steroid use. Awaken 180 is not responsible for defending your honor in the clubhouse. Awaken 180 cannot guarantee that your newfound golf prowess will lead to a sponsorship deal, but we can't not guarantee it either. Awaken 180 is not responsible for any dramatic fist bumps or unsolicited golf tips you give to strangers. Awaken 180 does not offer refunds for any lost wagers made on your improved golf game. Bet wisely, my friend. Strokes off your game by dropping pounds off your frame. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Buddy Wells. Another sign that we're getting closer to the college football season. Today, the preseason coaches poll was released. Ohio State comes in at number 2 behind Georgia. Oregon, Texas, and Alabama round out the top 5. Got a few other Big Ten teams in the rankings. Michigan is number 8, Penn State number 9, Southern Cal is number 23, and Iowa is number 25. In college hoops, the Ohio State men's basketball non-conference schedule has been finalized. The Buckeyes will face Auburn on December 14th in Atlanta. It'll be just the second ever meeting between the Buckeyes and the Tigers. And in baseball, the Guardians host the Diamondbacks for the first of 3. Logan Allen gets the start. And the Reds are in Miami for the first of 4 against the Marlins. Nick Martinez is on the hill. Both of those games will get started at 6:40. This update is sponsored by Roosters. Roosters is giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. We're talking tickets, sideline passes, a trip for 2 to Oregon, and more. You can register today and every day at roosterswings.com.
Thoughtfully discussing the merits of home run ins frozen pizza. This is Rothman and Ice.
Second hour of the program, Max Chadwick, college football reporter for Pro Football Focus, jumps on at 1:33. The hype around Ohio State and them actually meeting the expectations. So much there. We'll talk to him at 1:33. Spent the weekend at the Hall of Fame, and like I said, 378. I think grads is now number 373. I think they actually get a number as they go in. And by Friday afternoon, Maddie, the line to get into the Hall of Busts, which is so cool. And some of those noggins, man, are massive.
Some of them domes they got in there?
Those things are, yeah.
Jimmy Neutron domes
pretty amazing.
You know what's interesting, right, is you mentioned, the small percentage of guys that are in the Hall of Fame.
0.00000.
Crazy,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You and I had a great opportunity before a Blue Jackets game last year to host an event, and we were kind of on a panel, and we hit Orlando Pace and Anthony Munoz with some questions. And one thing that really stuck with me was when Anthony Munoz, I say sometimes there's levels to this. Mm-hmm. When you're in that club, that's as elite as it gets. But I'll never forget the way Anthony Munoz talked about Jim Brown and how even when you're in that class of athlete, there's a whole nother level too. There's just some guys that are the elite of the elites. And that was Jim Brown in the eyes of Anthony Munoz. So that's always fascinating to me too, is when you get the best of the best in the room, when you dig even deeper on, who is the guy or the guys? Mm-hmm. And Jim Brown was one of those dudes. Yeah. That when he walked in the room, he said, you just, the aura, everybody just felt it, and the level of respect everybody had for him was sky high.
So we had this conversation while we were up there about talent versus being blessed. So this is the ultimate honor, the ultimate individual honor you can get in a team game. That's a tough conundrum, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of it is good fortune, where you were drafted, who were your teammates,
Absolutely.
What kind of teams were you on? Because who are the guys that aren't in? I'll go to Cincinnati. So Ken Anderson, Boomer Esiason, never won the big game. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they'll ever get in. I did not like what Deion Sanders said last year about how they've gotten the Hall of somehow So do you remember that when he
Remind me, what did Prime say?
So he was talking to Peter King, and he was not talking about the 23 class very highly. And he dropped that they've gotten soft and it's open house. And he did not like it. Because but it's all subjective.
Yeah.
You can't tell me, I'm trying to think of, I'd have to really go through the list. Eli Manning's going to get in.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's eligible for the first time next year.
Who is he like? It's Eli, Marshawn Lynch, Luke Kuechly.
I think Vinatieri, too.
Is he on there?
Yeah.
He'll get in.
Yeah.
He'll get in. But, yeah, that did come out this weekend. I'm with you. Eli's getting in.
But there are levels of this. I mentioned to you Andre Reed was there. Andre Reed played for the Bills for the bulk of his career. He was a 7-time Pro Bowler, and he's in the Hall of Fame. And so I don't know if he's any better than other receivers, the talented guys. We don't know. Was he blessed to have a great quarterback? Was he blessed to play in an offense where they were slinging it around? Of course. Yeah. There are certain talents that will always find a way to rise above. But in a subjective deal like this, on, like I said, giving the ultimate individual honor in a team game, who knows?
You don't know.
There's a lot. There have been a lot of Hall of Fame snubs.
Oh yeah,
and I
don't always will be.
I do think Ken Anderson should be in there. I do. But there are some great quarterbacks that won't go, and there are some guys that didn't win the big game, of course, like Fran and Dan Marino, and guys that obviously deserve to get in.
Yeah, it's all got to come together for you, right? It really does. Because I look at the situation that Patrick Mahomes is in right now. We see the talent with our own eyes, but just think about, the context that's added to the talent and how he's already gotten off to this amazing start to his career, who he's teamed up with in the form of probably 2 Hall of Famers themselves in Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, and a Hall of Fame coach in Andy Reid. And it's funny to me how the Mahomes Brady, that comparison's kind of mirroring itself as far as Hall of Fame coach, Hall of Fame tight end. I know, Brady didn't have the Hall of Fame receiver, but he did have Randy Moss for a certain point in time, and we saw what that looked like the year that they took off. But I think maybe more importantly, too, is the Patriots were running through the AFC East, and the AFC East wasn't that good. And you look at the AFC West right now, and it's kind of similar, right? The Broncos, the Raiders, they just been okay to bad here recently. The Chargers have been fine, but they haven't really made a whole bunch of noise in the playoffs. So it's interesting how the Brady Mahomes thing's out there for a lot of people, but the way it's kind of mirroring itself with who those guys teamed up with, coaches, coaches and playmakers, but also the division too at the same time. It's a pretty interesting comp. I was thinking about that the other day, but you're right. What you said off the top is Mahomes got into the league as a talented guy, but the structure around him right away was just so good that combination can turn you into a Hall of Famer.
So I think he would have gotten in regardless. I don't know if he had to be great right away or if, who knows, his talent looks off the charts. And I'm not trying to disparage anyone. That's what my point of the whole thing is. Like you said, they're all in there, man. They're all a part of the same team now, only 378 of them. But if you could honestly tell me that Andre Johnson or any of these receivers are better than Reggie Wayne or Torrey Holt or Hines Ward or Sterling Sharp, I don't know.
Me either.
Those guys have to be as talented. I know they are. But numbers come into play. It is sports.
You got to get lucky, too.
And you
right? got to have some luck on your side.
You got to be a part of something or, like I say, win the big game. Gradishar waited 35 years.
Mm-hmm.
So when did he become a Hall of Famer? In the last 35 years. He wasn't playing football. Yeah. When did that finally happen? So, like you said, it's so interesting how there are levels of it. Now, if I was Deion Sanders, I would not have said what I said. I think that's...
I wonder how many people agree with Deion, though. I can't
he wants an upper room. He wants different classes.
I'm not mad
in the Hall of Fame.
I'm not mad at that.
In the Hall of Fame?
Like I said,
maybe in a museum you could separate into a little bit of all pros and this and that and the other. But I don't think if only 378 people have ever gone into the Hall of Fame.
I'm with Deion on that. I'm with Dion on that.
Separate the rooms?
I don't love publicly dunking on guys that were great players, but I do think that'd be pretty cool because I do think there are levels.
Eras are different.
No, I get that, but I'm not mad at the idea. That's all I'm saying. But I don't think he's alone. I think because Dion's one of those guys.
A first class and a low class?
Dion's one of those guys that we know isn't scared to say things. And so maybe he's the guy that can lead that charge. But I would be very surprised, AR, if there aren't other Hall of Famers that agree with him on some of these guys, that there's too much, leniency to get into Canton now.
Not being scared of saying something and being right to me are two different things.
No, I agree.
And I think there's an arrogance there that's just dripping off of him.
But he
probably can't help it.
He's the guy that can be arrogant, though, with how great he was.
Why do it with that? Of all things.
Because it's Prime, man.
378 guys, 350 million people
Prime, he said,
had a dream of playing.
It's Coach Prime. He's been saying stuff like this for decades.
See, that stuff that's interesting.
But you can't let it bother you if you're a Hall of Famer, because guess what? I got the same jacket you got on, Prime. I'll see you every year when we get here. Be mad.
That's the whole point of it.
Oh, who cares what he says?
We're all supposed to be at the same level now. Football heaven. They've only let 378 in the doors. Yeah. Why would you want some people to use the side door? I just feel like that's...
Sometimes you can't come up to the penthouse suite and drink champagne and have charcuterie with us. I'm sorry. There's levels to it. Sorry.
Yeah, see, and I don't think there should be a sorry when it comes to that part of it. Now, debating guys getting in versus not, that's okay. But once you're in, going back is interesting. And when he ripped the Hall of Fame all right, then let one guy in. I don't know. Maybe they're letting too many in at one time. I don't know, but it was a weird thing. Yeah. And he was there, obviously. And he was there. Actually, he was Devin Hester's jacking on guy. Yeah.
Nice.
So it was cool. All right, Zadarius Smith, speaking of Hall of Fame, has talked about a certain Brown. And so this is a kind of an interesting deal, and it's great for Browns fans to hear this. Maybe put a little too much on him. But he talked about rookie Mike Hall, and he drew some comparisons to what we know will be a future Hall of Famer.
He's different, man. He reminds me of Aaron Donald a little bit. Hopefully he don't see this and try to get a big hit. But, man, younger guy, man, wants to learn, man, and just asks a lot of questions. If you could see it, if you did see when we was there doing 101s, man, he was winning each and every rep. So to have a young guy like that, man, that just want to continue to get better and better each and every day is big for our D-line, man, and happy to have him.
I didn't think that a man could have a deeper voice than Paul Keels, but I think we may have found him in Zadarius Smith right there. That was pretty crazy to hear. Mike Hall's in a good situation.
He had the Barry White going on.
He really did have the Barry White going on, but Mike's in a good situation. I really think he is with the man that we just heard from in Zadarius, even though, if you're a Browns fan, I think you want a little bit more from Zadarius when we talk about heating up the quarterback. We know what's opposite Zadarius. It's the defensive player of the year. Myles Garrett's an absolute freak show. So I think if you're Mike Hall, man, you're trying to carve out that role throughout training camp here where, hey, Coach Schwartz, if you need me on, passing down situations, I can slide in between both those guys and help you heat up the quarterback because Zadarius and Myles were both top 30 in pressures. Myles was 7th, and I think those guys are going to probably be in that realm again this year. So that's awesome, man. Like when you hear an OG in the game and a vet in the game hitting you with some of that love, that's got to make you feel good if you're Mike Hall.
No question. And it was somebody that they targeted too. Like this was something that kind of fit right on the radar of Andrew Berry. I went back, I'm looking back at he's only 20, right? So I think so I think he fits kind of right into that what they like to stick to when it comes to the early rounds as far as age goes. But yeah, I mean, everyone was saying the same thing about him. Strong pass rush, big upside, all the agility and footwork you want for a big dude. But all these B-gap players on that defensive line, I mean, he could certainly impact that. Remember how good this defense is. So
yeah, man. Because he could find himself, to your point, like you can find yourself in some one-on-one situations.
No doubt.
With the attention that Garrett and Smith, you got to pay that respect to those guys snap in and snap out. So it's going to be fun to see what he can do. They brought in, they took a bit of a hit right now. Dalvin Tomlinson, he's dealing with a little bit of a knee injury. But as far as just getting after the quarterback on third down, won't be surprised if Mike Hall, we hear from him this season. Hopefully he can make a couple splash plays for him on D.
All right, we got a coaches poll out, a preseason coaches poll, and we'll see where Ohio State lands and the rest next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
This week, find hot summer deals in one stop at Meijer. Shop locally grown blueberries for $1.49 and fresh from Meijer family pack chicken drumsticks for 99 cents per pound. Earn M-Perks points every time you shop for groceries, apparel, and at the pump. Plus, earn points at the Meijer Pharmacy and schedule your flu shot available now. Meijer has all you need in just one stop and the same low Meijer prices in-store and online. Exclusions apply. See all deals in-store or in the Meijer app.
Contractors, builders, apartment managers, listen up. There's a new cabinet company in town, Choice Cabinet. Over 60,000 in-stock cabinets ready for you. They want your business. Call them 216-378-9313 or online at choicecabinet.com.
Wendy's new Saucy Nugs come in 7 saucy flavors. Yep, you can literally hear your taste buds going. Taste bud sounds may vary. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location.
Are you or a loved one struggling with addiction? Too many families suffer in silence, watching someone they care about struggle day after day. At Pinnacle Treatment and Recovery Works, we understand the pain and the heartache. More importantly, we know how to help. Our comprehensive addiction treatment programs can help you reclaim your life. Imagine waking up with hope, free from the fear of withdrawal. Help your loved ones, your son, your daughter, or help yourself. Take the step that changes everything. Visit pinnacletreatment.com/Ohio. Your new life starts now.
Murphy Tractor and Equipment is your source for John Deere construction equipment rental. We rent high-quality equipment and attachments with add-on options in TopCon precision construction technology. Whether you need 1 week or 6 months, we rent a variety of equipment to help you get the job done. All our rental equipment is fully serviced, fueled, and ready to get to work. Let Murphy Tractor be your first choice for your construction equipment rental needs. Visit us online at murphytractor.com.
We don't talk politics on the Fan. Instead, you'll hear us talk about the Ohio State Buckeyes, the NFL, food, family, and fun. We're your safe space, except when Common Man violates it by playing fart noises. The Fan, Ohio's politics-free destination.
Direct auto insurance is for uncompromisers. Like Matt. When his old car insurance got so expensive, do you think he walked until his sneakers wore out? No, because he found savings with Direct Auto so he could drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a free quote at directauto.com or a store near you. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Welcome to Nada Yada Island.
This season on Nada Yada Island.
You were charging your phone? I waited hours for you.
That's how long it takes.
Join Metro and get a free Motorola Edge that'll charge for the day in 15 minutes. At Metro, there's no activation fees. Only at Metro by T-Mobile.
Bring your number ID and sign up for Metro Flex Plus plan. Offer not available if at T-Mobile or have been with Metro in the past 180 days. Requires 68-watt charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary.
Healthcare.gov is here for you when life happens. If you lost your health coverage because of turning 26, going off Medicaid, leaving your job, or moving, you could be eligible to enroll in new coverage now. And if you need to update your coverage because of marriage or having a baby, you could also be eligible. But don't wait. There's a limited time to enroll. Check your eligibility at healthcare.gov today. Life happens. Get covered. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Brace yourself for the heat and the humidity today. The air temperature will be 93, but when you factor in the heat index, it'll feel like 97 to 98 out there. 20% chance of a pop-up shower later on this evening. Much better rain chances are favored on Tuesday. It'll also be a little bit cooler tomorrow with a high of 90. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with a look at your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
This is Rothman and Ice, the #1 rated midday show in Columbus.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, everything we've seen, it's Ohio State either 1 or 2. I haven't seen them any lower than that. I don't think anybody had the guts to put them lower than 2. We've seen the drop-off as far as betting to the other ones, whether it's Texas or Bama, whoever, Ole Miss. But Ohio State will open at number 2 in the college football coaches preseason poll. Okay. They'll be behind Georgia. So I'll look at the votes here and see if there's anything crazy about it.
Oh, yeah, I'd like to hear that.
It's all about talent, right? I mean, so Georgia's #1. They were voted, although not defending a national championship this time, they were voted first by 46 of the 55 coaches.
Wow. That's a lot more than I thought it would be.
They finished 3rd in the final rankings last season.
Are you surprised by that number? Because I am.
46 of 55. Kind of been there, done that. They get a little bit of that. Wow. I know they came up short in the SEC championship game, missed the college football playoff.
That's surprising to me, AR.
A little too much?
Yeah, I thought it would be it'd be even, like 50-50 lemon lime, like something a lot closer than 46 out of 55 going in favor of Georgia after everything that we talked about and
Ohio
heard.
State got 7.
That's eye-opening to me. Now, it doesn't mean anything because we know.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
How in the world does Michigan get a vote for #1? Like, maybe it's some of the
coverage. Sharon Moore. Is it him? It's got to be him.
I mean, it would have to be.
It's got to be him. There's nobody else I think that would do that.
You can't believe that they're #1.
No.
Like, all right, you want to put them in the top 10? You want to even put them in the top 5 because they're just, I hate this. Every team is its own team. Last year should have nothing to do with anything other than the guys coming back. That has the biggest part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But these preseason polls are based on one thing and one thing only: the ability to win football games this year, not last year, not 2 years ago. You look at a roster, you hear the hype, you analyze it, and then you take a leap of faith that I think this team is better than that team.
I'm with you. They got
#1 vote?
They've got them at 8th in the coaches poll to my count. And I'm not good at math. I'm looking at 6 Big Ten teams in the top 25: Ohio State, Oregon, Michigan, Penn State, Iowa, and USC. So you've got Ohio State at 2, Oregon at 3, Michigan at 8, Penn State at 9. You've got USC at 23, Iowa at 25. And so, real quick, I want to go back to Georgia. Because, to me, I know they're going to be good. I know they're going to be really good. Kirby Smart has built an absolute juggernaut down there in Athens. It's impressive. Like, you leave the Nick Saban shadow, you go over to Athens, and you create your own Death Star. That dude's absolutely one of the best in the sport. There's no denying it. But they got some interesting tests this year because it starts game #1 on the 31st against Clemson. That's a neutral site game. But I do think they've got 3 tricky road games this year. They go at Alabama, they go at Texas, and they go to Ole Miss. And that Ole Miss team, a lot of people like as a team that could potentially make a lot of noise this year based off of what what Lane Kiffin has done this offseason. They've had one of the best portal classes, and they got a veteran quarterback. But they're going to get really tested this year. Now, you've got the wiggle room. I understand that with the expanded playoff. But I can't wait to see how they handle those 3 road games with the loss of, Brock Bowers and McConkey and some other guys that were dudes for them. So that jumps out to me when I look at their schedule. Neutral site game, I believe it's in Atlanta, which is essentially a home game for them, at the Mercedes-Benz Dome. And then at Bama, at Texas, and at Ole Miss. It's not easy for them.
So I think you said something that stuck out to me. And to me, the ability to win a title is being able to not screw up. And this year, you're allowed to have a flop. Yeah. You're allowed to lay an egg, maybe two. And then it's on the coaches and the players to decide what the mentality is and the motivation of the team. How those losses affects a team can be different for each team. But if I really don't have a serious problem them putting Georgia at 1, based on having Carson Beck back, having ETN there as the transfer in the backfield. That defense, from everything we've heard, is reloaded, and they did have an elite recruiting class. How many of those guys make an impact, I don't know. But with the uncertainty with Bama now off of Saban's retirement, I'm glad you pointed out the schedule. But the beautiful thing for a talented team is if you lose a game, it's not an eliminator. Right. You don't start questioning yourselves on whether you're going to get in or do you need help. That's the beauty of it. Now, read me off the top 5 again. Do you have the coaches?
Yeah, I got it right here. It's Georgia, The Ohio State University, Oregon, Texas, and then Bama. Ole Miss is 6, so they're right there. So they got a lot of respect from the coaches as well. And Bama is going to be an interesting case study here in year number 1 with Kalen DeBoer. I cannot wait for their 3rd game of the year where they come up to Madison and take on Luke Fickell in the Badgers. But the marriage of Jalen Milroe and Kalen DeBoer, I'm excited to see what that looks like. I kind of like Jalen Milroe to potentially win the Heisman. Like, I'd love to look at the updated odds for him this year because I think he is just an explosive play waiting to happen. He had to deal with some tough stuff last year. Remember, he got benched for a little bit of time and then came back out, had that amazing ending to the game in the Iron Bowl. But I think, we saw it with Penix last year. Like, that was just from the pocket. We're going to rip you. Jalen Milroe is really good getting the ball downfield, and we know that's what Kalen DeBoer wants to do. But I think he's going to be eating people up with a lot of runs. So I think his stats have a chance to be really sexy this year down there in the SEC inside that offense. And I don't know if he's going to do what, Jaden Daniels did last year. But Jalen Milroe right now, he's 12-1. At Bet365 to win the Heisman. Your leader in the clubhouse is Dylan Gabriel at plus 750 in the Buckeyes and Ducks. They'll go after it a few weeks into the year. But Jalen Milroe, I like him right now as a sneaky, not even sneaky, but a Heisman bet right now.
Good news for Kalen DeBoer is that outside of following a legend, which nobody, ideally would want to do because you're always compared to that person, is that at least he's coming to Bama on the first year of the expanded playoff. Yeah. Like, at least they're going to get in. Outside of injuries or something stupid happening, they should get in. And I know he's not being judged on that, just getting in, but at least it is a soft entry for him to come into Alabama and at least try to. And if you have talent and it's any given Saturday or whatever night they're going to be playing, like, if you have equal talent, you got a chance. The beauty of it is for Bama is they don't have to win them all. And they just have to get into the tournament and then try to upset somebody, and they've got the talent to do it. I think Ole Miss, same thing. Do they have upset ability? Absolutely. The beauty thing for them is that they're going to get a bite at this based on not having to be a top 4 team. Yeah. Just get in. Oregon, I think, is going to be really interesting. Obviously, we're going to get a taste of them. The Texas one is really curious to me because they've already got a trip to the CFP to build off of with him. And I know they had holes to fill on their defensive line and the receivers and all that.
Dude, they lost a lot.
They did. And the fact that they're up there and then, they're not getting the same Michigan team out of the gate.
We're going to find out how much of a difference maker Quinn Ewers is. And look, they're probably going to reload their Texas. I know they brought in Isaiah Bond from Bama. He's a wide receiver they're excited about, who, by the way, when you're out, he got himself a Lamborghini NIL deal. I thought about you.
He should have got himself an Aston Martin. His name is Bond.
Right. Isaiah Bond.
Come on.
But when you lose the dudes that they lost, this now is going to shine a light on Quinn Ewers. You're so right to bring that up. And that game, when they take on Michigan, I know that Michigan's offense is a big question mark, but I still think their defense is going to be good. And now you got to go into the SEC and deal with that physicality, right? After losing, guys like Byron Murphy, who was a first-rounder, Tavondre Sweat, who was a second-rounder, 2 big-time dudes in the middle of the defensive line. Sark's a good play caller, so their offense probably will be fine, but, man, they lost a ton of dudes on both sides of the ball.
So these numbers are just crazy for Ewers. The almost 5,700 yards passing, 37 touchdowns, 22 career games, only 12 picks. Yes, the expectations are off the charts for them. Yeah. But again, the beauty of it is when you have talent, you don't have to worry about the crazy eliminator game. And so if they can get by Michigan and Ann Arbor, then it's, they get Georgia at home.
Yeah, there you go.
But
Oklahoma, it's a neutral site game. Yeah.
So that's the beauty of this playoff. We'll come back. We'll talk to Max Chadwick about it from Pro Football Focus. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
Ma, the meatloaf!
The Fan.
Here, care is where you need it. With over 350 primary care providers in Central Ohio, expert care is minutes away. See how we care for all of you at mountcarmelforyou.com.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
When there's a United Dairy Farmers nearby, made from scratch ice cream is too. Stop by while 2-dip cones are buy one, get one free. All flavors, including peach and cookies and cream. UDF ice cream, made for you.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. You've heard their name on the radio, you've seen them on TV, and possibly have heard about them from a family member or friend. One question always arises: what makes Newman Roofing different from the thousands of other roofing companies out there? Well, the answer is simple. It's a company built around family. With 3 generations of family in the roofing industry, the Newman family has built a reputation on honesty, transparency, and consistency. Family members holding key positions from the office sales to production teams, they strive every day to ensure each customer receives excellent experience and a quality product. And I should know they did my roof and their family did a great job. The Newman family drive to take care of their customers radiates throughout their team. Each team member takes pride in the work that they do. As the Newmans say, when your name is on it, it just means more. If you're in need of a roof repair or replacement, call the company that is built around family. Newman Roofing, 614-NEW-ROOF or newmanroofing.com.
Rise and shine, jabronis.
What a show this morning.
There's only one place where Buckeye legends lay the smackdown. Morning Juice with Bobby and Beamer.
Weekday mornings starting at 6.
Give me a juice box, yeah.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey, Buckeye fans, ready for the chance to win one of 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences? As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. We're talking tickets, sideline passes, a trip for 2 to the Oregon game, and exclusive access to the Ryan Day Coaches Show. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 winners. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Call 614-502-5220 to schedule your free in-home estimate today. And for every 2 windows you buy, you get the next 2 free, plus 0% financing for 60 months. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
A perfect afternoon parlay. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, he's Max Chadwick. He's our friend from Pro Football Focus, college football analyst, and a lot more. He's on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Mad Max in the house. Good to have you back.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Pretty good. We have a. Do you think that the Michigan thing came out today and they draft a notice of allegations? They're kind of charged here. What's appropriate? What's going to happen? What's your prediction?
Oh, man, I don't know. It's going to be tough. I know Sherrone Moore, some deleted text that came out. So even the new head coach for Michigan, Sherrone Moore, is in some fire, too. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with this program right now. I don't know what they're going to do or any kind of sanctions scholarship-wise or anything like that they might do. But it seems like it's only getting started for Michigan right now. And they already NCAA said that Connor Stallions was the guy on the Central Michigan sideline for that game. So it's starting to look pretty dire for Michigan right now. We'll see what happens.
You think they're overrated this year? I mean, we just saw the coaches poll come out. They're top 10. They even got a first place vote. I don't know. I think they're in more jeopardy of missing the playoff than they are of getting into the semis.
Yeah, I'm with you. First of all, I do think they're a top 10 team in the country. So I think they are deservingly where they are. I think number 8 is exactly where I have them too in my ranking. But the problem is that they play 3 top 5 teams in the country in Ohio State, Texas, and Oregon, right? So it's a brutal schedule. If you lose all 3 of those games, I don't know if you can get in as a 9-3 Big Ten team, right? So I'm with you. I don't think I have Michigan in my projected playoff right now, even though I think they're a top 12 team pretty easily. It's that schedule that really scares me right now, and that I don't know if Michigan's going to make the playoff, which is kind of funny considering they made 3 straight playoffs in a 4-team era, and now you're going to a 12-team era, and they might miss it out this year. So, yeah, I'm with you. I think the offensive questions with them makes me think that they might not make the playoffs this year.
Max, it seemed to me like, one of the sexy teams for people to talk about this offseason has been Ole Miss, and here we are with the coaches poll coming out today, and they've got them in the 6th hole. When you look at what they've got going on this year with Lane Kiffin and some of the guys that they brought in and they returned, are you as high on Ole Miss as some others?
I'm even higher on Ole Miss than the coaches poll is, actually. I have Ole Miss as the 4th best team in the country right after Ohio State, Georgia, and Oregon. You said the offense is going to be absolutely elite with Lane Kiffin drawing up plays, one of the best play callers in the sport. Jackson Dart, one of the 10 best quarterbacks in the country. A really good running game, even after losing Quinshon Judkins. And then maybe the 2nd best receiving core in the country as well. That offense is loaded. And defensively, they added a lot of talent through the portal that I actually think the defense is going to be pretty good this year when it used to be a weakness for this team, right? You got Princely Monmielen coming in. You got Walter Nolan coming in. You got some really good DBs coming in as well. Some good linebackers coming in. They did a really good job in the portal of addressing the defense. And, with that offense basically returning everyone else, I think Ole Miss is a top 5 team in the country.
Florida State eked into the top 10, and they've got a couple of key departures from Tallahassee. And so I'm wondering if they're a top 10 team in your mind.
I don't think they are. I think they're probably one of the most overrated teams in that coach's poll right now. I'd have them as a top 20 team. I wouldn't even have them as probably a top 15 team, though. I mean, you mentioned they lost everyone, basically, from that team last year. So really projecting them as a top 10 team is a lot of projection, to put it simply. There aren't a lot of players returning from that team. I like some of their talent they have. I like their offensive line a lot. I like DJ Uyunglele at quarterback a little bit, but, man, they lost a lot of talent offensively and defensively. I think top 10 is pretty rich for that team, considering we have really no idea what this roster is going to look like right now.
Let's stay in the ACC. They've got Clemson, the coaches do, at 14, and Miami at 19. Do you agree with that assessment when you look at those 2 teams on paper right now?
I think Clemson's right around where I have them. I think that'd be good. I'm actually a lot higher on Miami than the coaches poll is. They have them at 19. I think Dahl and I are going to have them at number 12, I think, in our ranking. So I actually think Miami's the best team in the ACC on paper. That roster is absolutely loaded top to bottom. They really killed the transfer portal this offseason. So I think Miami's my pick to win the ACC and make the college football playoff, and I think they are the best ACC team right now. I would have them personally as a top 15 team in the country.
We are visiting with our friend Max Chadwick, college football analyst, Pro Football Focus, on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. All right, I've asked this question to a few other guests we've had. I'll ask it to you, and we'll stay kind of in our part of the country here. Which team do you trust more? You get one of these teams the entire season: Notre Dame, Michigan, Penn State.
I'm going to trust Notre Dame this year because I think Notre Dame's defense is absolutely elite, and I think their schedule is very favorable. Like, I don't think there's a single team on Notre Dame's schedule that's better than Notre Dame right now. So I think Notre Dame is the best team out of those three. And they have a lot of new pieces offensively I like, too, with like Riley Leonard, Mike Denbrock, an offensive coordinator as well. Chris Mitchell at receiver is pretty good. Penn State, they got to fix the offense a lot, and I do think they added a good offensive coordinator, Andy Kolnicki, but I'm really worried about the receiving core and that offensive line lost some pieces. Then Michigan, like I said, the schedule is brutal, and you lost everyone from that offense, basically. So out of all three of those teams, I feel best about Notre Dame making the playoff because they play a pretty easy schedule compared to the other two, and they also have an absolutely loaded defense and a pretty good offense, too, which Penn State and Michigan, they both have great defenses, but I'm a little bit worried about their offense a little bit more than I am about Notre Dame right now.
So, Max, as you know, Will Howard's here in Columbus, and there seems to be a pretty good feel that he may be the guy in week one. Obviously, that could change in the coming weeks, but I want to ask you about his former school in Kansas State because they've got them ranked 17th right now, and I was, reading up on some stuff from down there in their neck of the woods, and they're very high on this young quarterback in Avery Johnson. And in the Big 12, is Kansas State behind Avery Johnson that you believe is going to make a lot of noise this year?
Yeah, they're certainly one of the top teams. I don't think they are the best team in the Big 12. I would say Arizona is that. I know Arizona's a little bit lower in the ranking. That's another team like Miami I'm super high on compared to the consensus. So I think K-State's definitely one of the top teams in the Big 12. I like Avery Johnson. He's got to show more as a passer. He's a really dynamic runner, but he hasn't really shown much as a passer yet. So I'm interested to see what he looks like as a passer. But and they also lost some key offensive talent as well in that offensive line, especially with Cooper Beebe gone. But I love the run game with DJ Giddens there and Avery Johnson there as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what they could do next year. But I think K-State is certainly one of the top 3 or 4 Big 12 teams right now.
You got to have a wild card in there somewhere, somebody that's going to make the playoff and maybe pull an upset that we would not predict. Is there a team out there that if I gave you a wild card selection, who are you taking?
I think I might have just spoiled my 2 wild card selections right now in Miami and Arizona. Those are the 2 that are kind of off the wall compared to the consensus that I'm going with to win their conferences. In terms of like the at-large bids, it's kind of chalk in a lot of ways. I'm trying to like come up with some other names, but I'd say Miami and Arizona. Those are 2 schools that not a lot of people are picking right now that I think are going to win the ACC and Big 12. And if you're a betting man, I'd run to the sports books right now and play some bets on them.
So I think there's some confidence that, the 2 teams going over to the SEC, Texas and Oklahoma, like a lot of people feel like Texas has a good chance to hit the ground running in that conference. How do you feel about Brent Venables and the Sooners going over to the SEC and possibly what they could do in year one?
I think they'll be solid. I think that they have some good defensive players, especially in that secondary and that linebacker unit I really like. But their problem is offensively they lost a lot of talent. They have a new quarterback in Jackson Arnold, who's a former 5-star recruit with Dylan Gabriel transferred out of there. Their offensive line is completely new, so I'm a little bit worried about that offensive line. I think like an 8-4 type season is what to expect from Oklahoma. I don't think it'll be as smooth of a transition as it is for Texas. So I think like an 8-4 type year for Oklahoma. I don't think they're really a playoff contender right now. We'll see how they do. But I think 8 or 9 wins is probably what to expect from Oklahoma this year.
All right, so obviously the Buckeyes are as hyped as any team in the country, and they should be. A lot of pressure on them, certainly, to get this thing back to the top, beat Michigan. They'll get them at home. Michigan coming off the hangover natty. We know they go to Oregon early, but the loser of that game certainly won't be eliminated. Give me your take. What would it just completely shock you if Ohio State, I don't know, didn't make the Final Four or the championship? Where do you have their floor?
Well, the floor, I think they're certainly a top 4 team. I'd be pretty surprised if they don't at least make the semifinals. And they should fully expect to win the Big Ten this year. Now, I don't think it's a given they're going to win the Big Ten. I think Oregon is actually right in their heels. But I have Ohio State personally winning the national championship this year, so I'm all in on Ohio State. But I think the floor is probably the semifinals. I think anything less than that should be seen as a pretty big disappointment for the Buckeyes.
Yep, we agree with you, especially around here. Thanks, Max. Great job. I know we'll talk to you before the season again. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Max Chadwick, college football analyst, Pro Football Focus. He was on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We come back with a Buckeye Bulletin, and Ohio State Hoops completing their non-conference schedule. Looks like a 25-year reunion game coming up. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
This is your daily reminder that Michigan sucks, and they're a bunch of cheating-ass cheaters. I'll be back tomorrow to say it again. The Fan. The Columbus Men's Clinic opened in 2014 for guys who get it done. Let's talk, fellas. You solve problems all day at work. You fix your sink when it's broken. But when it comes to ED and low T, it doesn't get done. We get it. You hate going to the doctor, but you're the guy that fixes things. At the Columbus Men's Clinic, there's nothing to fear and no reason to delay. We've been destroying bedroom boredom for a decade. So if you haven't fixed this, call us. When the pills fail, call us. If you feel like you've tried everything, call us. Here, there's hope. From the conventional to the next level. You'll be seen by our friendly, discreet physician who will take the time to listen. Imagine finally taking care of this with no surgery. Imagine going from feeling gray to living life in vibrant color. It's time to be confident. Join the thousands of guys who have found success after walking through our doors. Will you be one of them? Dial 614-300-7400 or go to columbusmensclinic.com to schedule a $99 male performance consultation, including blood work. Do it for you. Do it for her. columbusmensclinic.com. Book your appointment now.
Save big money on your next painting project. Menards carries Purdy paintbrushes, roller covers, trays, and paint kits to help you get the job done right. Purdy brushes are handcrafted in the USA and are the #1 brand preferred by professionals. Save big on Purdy painting tools at Menards, America's #1 home improvement retailer for customer satisfaction according to J.D. Power. For J.D. Power 2024 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Save big money at Menards. I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Pella has forever been known for the best of windows, Wilson. But our doors, just as game-changing.
Yeah, same with us.
We've got traditional and modern options, but also some really innovative stuff, like big, bold colors or tuck-away sliding doors.
But do you have the give it a little kick to open it door?
Does that mean what I think it means?
Yeah, you got to give it a good little kick to open it.
Get the windows and doors that Columbus homeowners rate the leading and most trusted. PellaColumbus.com.
The Buckeye Show.
We finally found our C.J. Stroud rookie card. The C.J. rookie cards are going like crazy.
He's single-handedly saved Panini's football products for 2023.
The Buckeye Show.
Sponsored by CareSource.
Weeknights at 6 on The Fan.
Experience a piece of history this September and pay tribute to those that have served in the Vietnam War. Delaware County Veterans Services invites you to visit the Wall That Heals from September 12th through the 15th at Havener Park in Liberty Township. Witness the official 3/4 scale replica of the Vietnam Memorial in Washington, D.C. The Wall That Heals is free and open to the public 24 hours a day until 2 p.m. on the 15th. For volunteering opportunities and to learn more, please visit thewallthathealsohio.com.
Hey, have you heard about Tim Hortons' new happy hour? Get 50% off summer menu drinks after 2 p.m., Monday to Thursday.
50% off?
Yeah. Try the new Cocoa Caramel Crunch Iced Cap, Butter Pecan Cold Brew, Mango Frozen Lemonade, Solar Splash Tim's Boost, and Berry Cherry Refresher.
There are so many options. That's really good.
Discover a new favorite with Tim's Summer Menu and enjoy 50% off during happy hour. Only at Tim's. Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants. Terms apply.
At Skechers, we put the S in comfort.
Wait. Skechers put the S in comfort?
Yes, comfort you have to feel to believe. Skechers, we put the S in comfort.
Let me try. Okay, I'm just stepping in and... Oh, wow. Skechers put the S in comfort.
Duh. We told you. Find Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
When you switch and save with Progressive, you could use that money towards golf lessons to become a scratch golfer. Progressive cannot guarantee that you will ever become a scratch golfer. Scratch golfers are really, really good. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds on average, and sure, you could put that money towards lessons, but if you can't hit the broadside of a barn and think you're going to become a scratch golfer, you're delusional. Sorry, just telling it like it is. Savings? Maybe. Scratch golfer? Don't hold your breath. Switch and see if you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance and Affiliates. Not available in all states. It's universally accepted that golf is hard. Progressive cannot guarantee improved performance on the course.
Want to know anything about the fans' contests, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Feeling the heat? Call the experts at Logan Services now for hot deals on train systems, including 0% APR for 60 months.
All right, Buckeye Bulletin time. And we climb into the non-conference schedule. And we've got an Ohio State-Auburn game. My goodness, does that take me back. 1999 and the big run.
Good year.
Where
for you,
was
huh?
I? In Knoxville?
Well, you're probably loading up on gallons of water because didn't we think the world was going to end in 1999 going into 2000?
Y2K? No, that would have been already. That'd have been March of. Wait a minute. What am I thinking? Would have been in March of 2020 of 2000. That tournament, the Ohio State Auburn game, or would that have been in March of 99? I can't even remember. That's how long it's been, Maddie. But give me a break. It has been that long.
On a Kit Kat bar? Give you a break? Is that what you're asking for?
It was in March of 99.
Okay, there you go.
When they took on number 4 Auburn at, Thompson Bowling Arena in Knoxville. Buckeyes took them down.
I'm excited for this. I want to throw this at you.
Where is this game?
This
Atlanta?
is going to be, I believe, in Atlanta. Hotlanta, where the Atlanta Hawks play. I think that's the State Farm.
By the way, I did mention a game that we weren't allowed to mention. Supposedly that game never happened, right? Yeah.
Never happened. I want to ask you this. Maybe CB can hop on here, too, because we know Coach Diebler, he's got some fire, right? He's got some fire. We've seen that. So does Bruce Pearl. If I put an over-under on this at 1.5 techs in that game, would you take the over or the under?
Why that specific game?
Because Coach Diebler's got some fire, and Coach Pearl, he's the same way. Like, if you watch Coach Pearl on the side, like he gets after people. Maybe 1.5 is too high, but I'm going 1.5 total techs between the two coaches in that game.
I'll take the under.
You're going under, CB.
You're giving me a free tech, and I can still win the under.
You going over or under?
I probably would go under. I would probably favor Bruce Pearl being the one that gets it.
Right.
But no, this is a great game to add. I mean, you pair this with a team like Texas and Texas A&M also on the schedule.
Yeah, man.
You have to play Kentucky, and then Pitt has been recently they've been pretty good. They've gone to the tournament the past couple of years. So that's 5 Power 5 programs in that non-conference schedule. That's pretty good.
And you know AR is excited about the Indiana State game, too. AR's all in.
He's
on
gone.
Indiana State. Your boy.
He's gone.
You still love the program, though. Those are your guys last year. Where is he at again?
He followed his coach to St. Louis.
Yeah.
I thought he would have cashed in somewhere else.
So they do, I believe they come to Dayton because that's obviously A-10 play. So you could see them in state.
Okay, not mad at it. You mentioned that Kentucky game, CB. That is going to be at Madison Square Garden. That's going to be a potential revenge game for Bradshaw. You know, he's looking forward to getting after them. I know Coach Cal's not there, but when you see the brand, I'm sure he'll be juiced up for that. But yeah, I'm in, man. I'm in on Bruce Pearl and the Tigers trying to take down the Buckeyes. Down in Atlanta. Should be a fun matchup for sure because roster looks pretty good right now. But they got a lot of work to do, man. Got to avoid, those horrible regular seasons that they've had, in back-to-back years.
Carmen's crew won the mill yesterday, beat the Forever Cougs on a leaner in the lane by our boy Jared Sullinger, so congrats to them, 69-65. It got a little dicey at the end with the Elam ending, and so good for those dudes. It seemed like every game that I watched, they were blowing a team out early, and then teams would come back at them, and they found a way to get it across the finish line. So, big moment. I have no idea the breakdown of the cool mill for everybody. I think
it's a little
equal.
north of 60,000 per player,
but
like
does
65.
every guy have the same deal, CB?
They broke it down on the broadcast. Maybe it was too generic, like even across the board. It could be different per player.
Okay. Shout out to Sully, though. You mentioned it. Like, got down in the post, split the double team, and just little midi, hit the ground, and then he gets mobbed, man. I was worried about Sully when I saw him get mobbed. Like, some of those dog piles, they can get a little dicey right there. But, yeah, man, all those guys, really cool to see. We've been talking about it since the inception of this tournament. It always seems like the Ohio State, the former players that played here at Ohio State, Carmen's crew, they've balled out, man. And here they are again bringing it home. But, yeah, it was cool to see Sully out there doing his thing.
Real quick, the fun addition to this is now that they have at the end of the tournament when the team wins, they have the captain, so it was Sullinger in this case, to go up to this big board and kind of like hit a button on this board for Zell. So it sent the actual $1 million Zell to their team account. It was pretty cool.
So before I even get to the locker room, you're telling me this is in my bank account.
That's exactly right.
That's the type of life I need to be living.
Yeah, I don't know where it goes, Maddie. If all the million wouldn't go into your specific account,
they got to divide it up. Give me my cut.
Yeah, but at least you know the team has it.
Exactly.
It's your money and you want it now. Is that what you said when you ran into the locker room after the game?
Darn right.
Hey,
man.
Forget the celebration. It's my money and I want it now.
That's probably how I would be thinking. Then we can pop bottles after that.
Celebrated enough. Let me celebrate with some dollar bills. We want to talk about the Ohio State football team. Cody Simon was on Fan Sports Saturday, and he talked about what it's like working with those other two LBs, Styles and Hicks.
You know, they've developed so much in even this past spring to fall camp, but even since they were other linebacker and safety, you know, they're super athletic, super aggressive, and they're smart players. So I'm super excited to see them play during the season. And you know, they play fast and they play physical. So I think the fans will like watching them play too.
Well, competition between Hicks and Styles, I felt, was pretty real. We had Stephen Means on earlier today. He talked about, you know, both are likely to have roles in the defense either way. But, you know, Hicks has, you know, a lot of years of experience learning that position in the Jim Knowles scheme. So maybe he has an advantage in the base defense. Styles, all that experience he has at the back end, potential to be really valuable and versatile in whatever they want to do with him. So a couple of big dudes. But Simon is set to be the lead backer there.
Yeah, man, he'll be the vet. He'll lead the charge. And, you know, Cody mentioned athleticism in that clip there. And, you know, that to me kind of connects with Sonny and what I think he can do inside this defense. You know, him being now a former safety and him coming down into the box and playing closer to the line of scrimmage. I wonder if Jim Knowles can turn him into a bit of a chess piece every once in a while. Of course, he's going to take care of his duties with linebacker, but that could be one more thing that you could stress out an offense with you know, the offensive coordinator or the quarterback for the other team having to identify where that dude is, you know, in every single play, because his athletic traits are special. So that unit, you know, we talked about, you know, Tommy Eichenberg and Steel Chambers and some other guys for years. Now we turn the page to a new crop of linebackers, and they're coached up by one of the best, and James Laurinaitis. So I'm sure he's had those guys in the lab. Those guys have been grinding, and I won't be surprised at all if they're flying around and making a lot of plays here in a few weeks.
Lathan Ransom also on Fan Sports Sunday, and he talked about, certainly he's locked in at safety, the improvement he has seen in his teammates since the spring.
Yeah, so me personally, I didn't get to practice in the spring, so it's my first time playing with these guys. But just seeing now, I mean, from what I've seen it in the spring from watching and now seeing now is that they're very comfortable already. Like, not a lot of MAs from either of them. You feel like they've been playing here for 1 or 2 years. So it's just the way that they came in, learned the offense, learned the defense already, and are making an impact. It speaks volume about them.
I'm going to assume MAs is missed assignments. Could be wrong in saying that, but I'm going to guess that's what he meant when he said not a lot of MAs. I'd love clarification on that. But Lathan, man, he's going to be a part of a season secondary. That should be lights out, and that's why, you know, so excited about that Oregon game with, you know, their playmakers and Dylan Gabriel. Those guys I know are probably foaming at the mouth because they've been hearing all season, Oregon this, Oregon that, how good they are, maybe how close they are to the Buckeyes. You know, Burke, Ransom, Caleb Downs having to deal with Evan Stewart and Tez Johnson for Oregon. That's going to be one of those banger matchups for sure. But Lathan's going to be a dude for him this year.
That is today's Buckeye Bulletin. All right, Sports Center update here, top of the hour. We'll get you into a deep dive. Maddie and I will name a couple of our surprise predictions in the conference and the latest in Ann Arbor and the head coach in the old crock pot right now. We'll find out how this shakes out. We'll talk about it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
This promo is brought to you by Common Man and Timmy Hall's Ping Pong Game. The Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony for the Good Feet store. 3 words for me: pain-free summer. Spent probably 30 hours walking around the Memorial Tournament and felt awesome with my personal arch supports from the Good Feet store in my everyday kicks. Sure, every now and then we all get random foot pain from pickleball or golf or just being a human being. Having my personally fit arch supports in my shoes has made a massive difference. And even right after I put them in, didn't take long to feel much more supported and aligned, and it's so easy to just move them into any pair. Before I had them, I dreaded being on my feet for any length of time. Well, you have nothing to lose but the pain, as they say. It's a free fitting and test walk. Try them for yourself. See the difference it can make. It did for me. And best of all, you can wear them home. 2 locations on Polaris Parkway and Stringtown Road, or schedule an appointment at goodfeet.com. The Good Feet store, America's arch supports experts.
Meet animals from around the world as you explore the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium. Whether you're fascinated by the towering elephant or playful sea lions, we have it all at the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium. Visit columbuszoo.org to plan your visit today.
Take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame with Awaken 180. Between increased flexibility, strength, and endurance, breaking 100, 90, or even 80 could be just 40 pounds away. Get there this summer with the solution for weight loss. Awaken180weightloss.com.
This is Paul Keels for Nature Stone Flooring, a unique blend of natural stone and their specially formulated epoxy expertly installed over existing concrete. Nature Stone is the only flooring solution for garages, basements, and indoor spaces. Family owned and operated since 1989, no other company or product can match the features, benefits, and unconditional warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor. Visit naturestone.com today and schedule your cost estimate. Act now and save up to 50% off any Nature Stone floor. It's not just a floor, wow, it's Nature Stone.
Summer may be slowing down, but the deals at Vivid Seats haven't. Whether it's scoring MLB tickets for a night at the ballpark or locking down the biggest matchups for the upcoming football season, Vivid Seats has you covered. With the only rewards program in the game, plus an amazing selection of tickets, Vivid Seats has something for every fan. Catch the deals you want for the games you crave, all backed by a 100% buyer guarantee. Just visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Granger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgranger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Buddy Wells. The preseason watch list continue to roll out as we inch our way closer to the college football season. Today, the Walter Camp Player of the Year Award announced their preseason list, and 3 Buckeyes made the cut. It's quarterback Will Howard, running back Quinshon Judkins, and wide receiver Emeka Egbuka. Also in college football today, the preseason coaches poll was released. Up at the top, it's Georgia at number 1, followed by Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, and Alabama to round out the top 5. 4 other Big Ten teams were in the rankings as Michigan is 8th, Penn State is 9th, USC is 23rd, and Iowa is 25th. And in baseball this evening, the Guardians host Arizona with Logan Allen on the bump, and the Reds are in Miami where Nick Martinez gets the start. Both games will begin at 6:40. This update is sponsored by Nature Stone. You can schedule your cost estimate today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and I feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Maxima Concrete. Visit MaximaConcrete.com today to schedule your free estimate.
All right, Michigan got their title, and whatever comes from the rubble or whenever that wrecking ball swings, I assume they'll live with it, and they probably would have signed up for it. There was too much invested. They wanted to see it through. We were objectively analyzing it, I felt, all along the way. And it was one of those deals where their chips were in the middle and they were going to try to stiff arm that thing all the way to a title. When you cheat and you're really good, it just levels up your chances of doing it. And they were really good, and they had a competitive advantage. I think most people that have level-headed thinking about it would admit that they know they did. How much? I can't tell you that this equaled that win, because I don't know. Because when you think about the levels of each play, how that impacted, what did that 3-and-out mean? What did that tipped pass mean? What that linebacker knew to go there and got his hand on a ball and goes incomplete. I can't tell you that I would remember what that led to that and that led to that, which led to a game or a punt or this or that. There's no way to go all the way back, but they had a massive competitive advantage. You can't convince me that the coaches didn't know about it, because they knew who was providing it to them. And Connor Stallions, where was he getting it? How was he getting it? Well, maybe they didn't want to know. Well, it sounds like Sharon Moore knew. That's the biggest part of today for me, is that this just doesn't, you can't just cut the head off the snake in Harbaugh and then everyone else is exonerated.
How lucky is he?
We got rid of Stallions, you got rid of Harbaugh, and the program just moves on swimmingly with no problems.
It's
like it was right out of the Pete Carroll playbook.
Yeah.
We knew it was coming.
Bit of a grimy move by Jim Harbaugh. Like, it's grimy. Like, because he clearly knew what was going on. I don't care what the dude says. He knew what was going on. He knew this operation was unfolding. And like you laid out, well, was he in the direct line of this to where everything could connect back to him? Probably not. But we know these coaches know a lot of things that go on in their building, if not everything, but something that can directly affect the outcome of games for you as a coach. He knew what was going on, and that's why, you know, Sharon Moore and, 5 or 6 other coaches or staffers are in this latest report that came out from Dan Murphy and Pete Thamel this weekend. So the NCAA, they absolutely wanted to leak this to Murphy and Thamel right now. That way they can get out in front of this Netflix documentary that's coming out in a couple of weeks on the 27th. That way they can try to control the narrative, I think, a little bit before that comes out. But as far as, you know, a punishment goes for Moore specifically, like, won't be surprised if it's a game or two, just throwing stuff at the wall. Have no idea what this is going to look like on the other side. But let's say it is, you know, a game or two. You're talking about one of the biggest games on your schedule is week 2. And when you're hosting Texas, and if that spills over, let's say, to maybe 3 or 4 games, week 4 is USC. So here you are turning the page again into another season to where your head coach isn't going to be around for games, specifically big games for them. So look, there's no denying what was going on with just all the evidence that we saw last year, the crazy video, you know, of Stallions on the sideline at Central Michigan with what looked like, I guess, a recording device with some glasses on with a blue light in it and all that stuff. So, yeah, man, they got sick of being on the wrong side of things. And they said, you know what, let's craft a way that could put us over the top. And they did it. And to your point, the combination of how good they were already, or were going to be already, with what I just mentioned, I think you put that into one pot and, you know, no surprise that they got it done the way that they did last year.
I think the interesting part for me, and this will, I don't know if decades from now somebody will speak, but you have to wonder the players who are part of that team and those meetings and when they were designing game plans against big-time opponents and where they needed to be. When you see this formation, that's what or keep looking over at us. We'll give you, we've identified. Now, did they let the players in on it? Probably not. But the players are smart. They may be smarter than them. Like,
we saw the videos, right, of the coaches on Michigan's sideline looking at an opposing team's sideline, looking at their signals right before the snap, giving it to their guy. Like, you know,
so what they think, that they just watched so much film that they were able to just...
Seems a bit naive to me.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, everyone's willing to justify it. You know, when people cheat, for the lack of a better word, everybody knows, but there are levels of justification. And I think they justified it. We worked harder than the others. We got intel that the others could have gotten themselves, but didn't. But they knew they were breaking the rules big time. The way they were... Here's the deal. The way like you pointed out, the way he was obtaining it should just tell you how deceitful it was.
With the technology.
Yeah. So, and so I'm not here to tell you that I know it was on those texts. If Sharon Moore deleted 52 texts from Connor Stallions on the day the news broke, he was hiding something. Yeah. Now, whether or not anything was in those texts that would hold Sharon Moore accountable, I don't know. The smoking gun, I don't know if there really is one other than everything we've seen.
Well, let's ask ourselves this. If there wasn't anything in those text messages that you feel like would get you caught up in some stuff, are you deleting the text messages? The answer is no.
I delete messages on my phone because I just don't like all that. I just don't like having to run through. I know people that have never deleted a message in the last 5 years.
You know what the smoking gun is, though? He deleted the text messages on August 23rd.
Then the day of. That's what I'm saying.
There you go.
Yeah. That's
so
right.
You're
coincidental.
What you do is normal. You're not being investigated. Yeah. That right there is all the evidence that I need to hear personally, that he knew that when this report came out, I better get rid of these text messages.
Deleted evidence in an investigation. Right. That's what he did. That's it. This isn't someone deleting a weird picture on their phone they don't want somebody to see.
Scandalous stuff.
This is, and maybe there were. I don't know. All I know is that they got away with it to this point. Now, the fact that he got level 2 and not level 1, like maybe there wasn't anything on those texts that were, like I said, a complete smoking gun. But we're at a point now where they should get. Here's the deal: if I asked you guys, how many more wins does Michigan have than Ohio State?
What do you mean?
Lifetime. Would you know?
Who knows?
Would you care?
Not really.
It cares a little. I care a little bit about. If I was a player, if I was part of Ohio State, I would probably care a little.
Oh,
bit.
if you're a player, for sure. Me as a fan
as a
of the
program.
sport.
Yeah, as a program, as a fan, as a generational fan. If CB, I'll ask you. Do you know how many more wins? Maybe you've looked this up recently. Do you know how many more? Do you know where Ohio State and Michigan are in total wins as a program in their history?
Not exactly. I mean, obviously Michigan went over the 1,000 mark because they celebrated at Maryland last year. But
I think they have 1,004.
I would think it's pretty close.
Yeah, it is close, and that's why it's important. They have 40 more wins. It's 1,004 to 64. Or to 964. So it's
their fan base. Because
matter
here's where I'm at with
they vacated wins.
I don't even care about that. Not even just me specifically in this situation. They are like the vacated wins and all that. Like we saw what happened. We saw what happened.
Yeah, but it doesn't need to be celebrated.
No,
we saw
I'm not
like
saying,
the Houston Astros you brought up earlier, which I thought was good.
I'm not saying I'm celebrating it. I'm just saying like that punishment to me, it sounds a lot heavier. That's all.
I'm with you on that. They got their rings. Yeah. They're not taking them away. Right. They don't have to turn those back in. It's about being able to celebrate it as a program. The banners, I agree with you. Every time we talk about a banner coming down, everybody says the same thing. I was there. The games happened. I saw them. Okay. Well, 100 years from now, they can't celebrate it. They can't hang it in an arena. They can't be. So there's a little bit of teeth to it. I don't know what they could do other than pop them for a bowl ban right away and make them face the punishment.
Which now hits different because of the expanded
No
playoff.
doubt.
So if you're saying, which I think would absolutely be the case, you are no longer eligible for 2 years to play for a national championship, that's pretty significant.
Crushes recruiting.
That's a great point because that's exactly where I was going to go. If I'm, you and I are, we're homies, right? And we're one of the best players in, I don't know, let's say the state of Michigan. And we are right now, I don't know, seniors in high school. And we're, trying to find out who are next or where we're going for college. And this comes down that under Sharon Moore's watch for the next 2 years, you can't compete for a national championship. That has to affect things.
And by the way, the fact that he is implicated, and he's only been charged. There's no official ruling here. A lot of people thought that maybe they'd skate with more double secret probation and fines and hit him in the wall and all that because all the real guilty parties are gone. Yeah. Stallions, Harbaugh, whatever. Mm-hmm. Another assistant coach, this and that.
Jesse
and the other.
Minter.
But the fact that he's a $6 million a year coach for the next 5 years and he's still there. And if he was a part of this, then they do have to suffer. Just like I would say it if this was any other school. Like, here's the deal. A lot of people say, well, don't punish the players. Those players put their faith in the hands of the program. Mm-hmm. I feel I would have sympathy for them. Let me give you another example. Let's just say that something devious was happening at the head of this company that you and I have no information on. Let's just hypothetically. And they decided to yank our FCC license. Now, you guys can't broadcast anymore for a year. And you and I lose our jobs. Is that fair? No, it's not fair. Mm-hmm. But it's life. And unfortunately, and unbeknownst to us, that happened.
What would you do for that year?
Well,
what would you do?
I got to eat. So, I mean,
I don't want you to starve yourself for a year. I would hope you're going to eat, but what are we doing for a year?
You give me a year off right now?
Yeah, we're just playing golf.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I don't think they're paying us. I'm trying to think of what I would do.
I mean, traveling would get old right away.
Yeah.
I mean, see some old friends, good for the soul.
Once a month, big trip. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, you fly, me drive.
Oh, absolutely. Because anything over 3.5 hours, I'm on a bird. I can't do it.
Yeah, I'm already debating on whether I should go to Chicago this weekend.
Just get a plane ticket.
No, because then and then Uber from O'Hare and all that? I could.
That's a zoo, isn't it?
It is, and it's probably the better way to go. Hop on the bird.
The math never maths for me when I know that I can go to Chicago and be there in, 50 minutes?
Not really.
Okay.
Airtime, yes.
Okay.
Gate to gate, more like an hour and 15.
Okay, compared to how long in the car?
From my place to my brother's?
Or just Columbus to Chicago?
Well, Columbus to Chicago, if you're dealing with traffic on the south side, you probably can get there in 6.
Yeah, no.
With a splash and go.
I can't do that. You know me, I got a weak bladder, so there's splashes and goes on this trip.
There's plenty of those rest areas, Matty. I'm sure those meet your hygiene specifications.
I'm
don't
sure
they?
It's great in there. I'm sure it's squeaky clean at those spots.
Listen, I have found my places if I need a full pit stop.
Well,
I'm talking about splash and go. I'm talking about if I need a full pit stop, I can't give it away.
I think you've given me some good counsel on this, that maybe like a hotel or two, something like that.
Act as if you're staying there. Yeah. You'll be fine.
Can I get another key card?
No, I'm talking about a lobby bathroom. Not trying to get into a room. I think that if my gut is that he gets popped his games just like Harbaugh had to sit. Yeah. And I don't know what, and then they can just move along, play victim and move along.
I think you're right.
I don't know what else to do other than what sounds right is that they should get popped.
Yeah.
As far as their probation, as far as like games and also the bowl ban. And then you could hit them right where it counts. All right, we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about a guy and a reunion at a stadium and how it feels. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Are you ready to turn your passion for media into a career? Ohio Media School is the place for you. With hands-on training in radio, television, sports broadcasting, and digital media, you'll gain the skills and experience you need to succeed. Don't wait. Classes are starting soon. Visit beonair.com and take the free assessment to get started. Enroll today and take the first step towards your dream career. Ohio Media School. Your future in media starts here. Visit beonair.com. Beonair.com. Enroll now.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If you need a new roof but you're not sure you can afford it, no problem. Right now, Able Roof is offering no payments, no interest until 2026 for qualified buyers. Yep, that's the same Able Roof that's been voted the #1 roofing company in Columbus by Consumer Choice Awards 22 years in a row. Want more? Able Roof will give you up to $1,000 off a new roof, siding, or windows. This is a limited time offer, so call Able Roof today.
Call Able for the proof. 444 Roof.
Billiards Plus has everything for the master griller in your house. Come to their showroom, open the lid, and feel the difference in their grills. Professional top quality equipment at great prices with a huge selection ready to go home with you. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Meet Abdullah Mahmood, problem gambling counselor at Maryhaven. More and more people are falling into problem gambling. It can happen so quickly that you don't realize it until you face a crisis. Gambling issues often connect to depression, anxiety, or other addictions. Maryhaven's experts offer comprehensive care. You and your loved ones can count on mental, emotional, and financial guidance. Confidential and judgment-free. Go to maryhaven.com today.
This is the White Castle Call of the Crave, and it's telling you to come in now for 10 cheese sliders for just $7.99. 10 cheese sliders for just $7.99. Boom! White Castle. Follow your crave. Limited time only, tax not included.
Much like a vampire, we need to be invited into your house. But once we're in, we never leave. Listen to The Fan on your Alexa or Google Home smart speaker. Just say play 97.1 The Fan and prepare to be amazed. Do it now.
It's a great feeling doing business with John Hinderer Honda.
It's a great feeling doing business means we're one of the highest rated nationally in customer service. We have one of the largest selections of Hondas, and we make service simple with car convenience and mobile service, all while serving Central Ohio for over 30 years. John Hinderer Honda, Route 79 in Heath, or HindererHonda.com. Open Sundays.
It's a great feeling doing business with John Hinderer Honda.
Ready to be the change and have a positive impact on your community? Consider joining the Columbus Division of Police. Starting pay is $70,000 plus, growing to 6 figures after 4 years of service. We offer paid vacations, paid holidays, and health insurance. Do you aspire to complete your degree? We offer 100% tuition reimbursement after you complete your first year of service. Contact the CPD recruiting unit at jobs@columbuspolice.org or apply online at columbus.gov/government/jobs. The City of Columbus is an equal opportunity employer.
If a friend asks how you're doing, and you say,
I'm okay.
When the truth is,
I don't want my problems to burden anyone.
Or you say,
hang it in there.
Because
if I ask for help, they'll just think I'm weak.
Then this is your sign to call, text, or chat 988 for free, confidential support. Anytime. You don't have to hide how you feel.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
A few late day showers today. Otherwise, I think many of you stay dry and we stay mostly sunny. It'll be hazy out there as we have some upper level smoke moving through the area. Going 93 today. Tomorrow, a little bit cooler with a high of 90. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with a look at your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by the Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, little Bet365 time.
Yes, sir, because at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. See for yourself when you sign up today. You get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5.
All right. Should I do it? And I'll tell you what I mean.
What you got?
So the White Sox have lost 20 games in a row.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
The question becomes, is this the night?
Is this the night? Some would say,
do you keep riding the wave? Because I'm kicking myself for not betting against them the last 20 nights. Now, the juice would have been heavily favored towards the opposition, but it doesn't mean you weren't winning money.
Yeah.
So if you're betting against the White Sox 20 games in a row, you haven't lost yet. When do you get off the ride? Tonight, they're at Oakland.
Okay.
It's a winnable game.
2 worst teams in the American League.
When I think about the White Sox right now, and I wrote down a couple of stats for you.
Oh, this is going to make our ears bleed.
They're batting .217 as a team.
Ugh.
They've walked the least amount in the American League. They've hit the least amount of home runs. They've scored 352 runs in 114 games. I did the division on that. 3.1 runs per game. But the A's average only 4.1 runs per game.
Okay.
So that's a difference of 1 run. Do I take the White Sox plus 1.5 tonight to lose the game, but only lose by 1?
Scare money don't make no money.
Let's do it.
Scare money don't make no money.
White Sox plus a 1.5. Go ahead and lose your 21st game in a row. Just don't lose it by more than 1.
So you're going to be locked in on the 2 worst teams in the American League.
No, I won't. It's at 9:40. I'm going to go to bed at some point and then wake up and see what happens.
So you got the 2 worst teams in the American League squaring off, but on the other side of baseball, you got the 2 best teams in the National League locking horns in the Philadelphia Phillies and the Los Angeles Dodgers. This game is going to start at 10:10. So just pour up a little espresso martini. That'll keep you up. That'll get you going. Have one of those after dinner and you'll be locked in. Give me Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani's touching all the pillows tonight. I'm going with a dinger for Shohei Ohtani. Aaron Nola's on the bump for Philly, but I like the righty-lefty matchup for them. Plus 190 is the juice for arguably the best player in baseball because Aaron Judge is just not human. That dude is a freak show. But give me Shohei Ohtani, CB, plus 190 for an anytime dinger tonight. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. Download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
Shohei Ohtani, between two pillows. All right. Let's, you said plus 190?
Yeah, what's the between two pillows?
It's just a little movie line that I crafted when you said he's going to touch all the pillows.
Yeah, well, the little
those aren't
bases,
pillows.
I like to call them pillows.
No, I actually like that. It was reminded me of something.
Oh, okay.
The interesting part about Orlando Brown Jr. spent, the last two seasons with the Chiefs winning Super Bowl, and after he didn't get his long-term deal, he moved on and signed a 4-year deal with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Hey.
And so guess where they were back there. Give me the schedule, Maddie.
What, you want the Bengals schedule?
Let's get a little Bengals
This year's or last year's?
Well, I know they went back there.
They go back there week 2.
They go back there week 2.
Won't have to wait long. September 15th, and that's a 4:25 kick for you.
Now he's been back there, right?
I don't know. Really big? So you need me to go back to 2023 now?
Trying to think. So I'm losing my mind on
New Year's Eve. That is New Year's Eve, right? December 31st. Yeah, to December 31st. They played in Kansas City. They lost 25-17.
So he was there last year.
Yeah, but it was the Jay Browning show. So it wasn't as sexy as it could have been. But to your point, yes, he was there.
So he's already done this move.
Yeah, revenge game. Got it out the way.
All right. So here we are again, him going back. CB, you have a little sound on this from going back to Arrowhead again?
Yeah, I think Orlando in this soundbite with Kay Adams really notes maybe the difference between last year's game and hopefully what's going to be different with this year's game.
Tell me about week 2.
Okay, week 2.
Where does your head go?
We go to Kansas City. We'll be in Arrowhead.
Where does your head go?
Man, I mean, it's exciting. For me, even playing Baltimore twice a year, too, going back to M&T Bank is once a year is crazy. But, it's always exciting. I don't really necessarily put pressure on myself. I personally feel like I've played in the biggest game of my life already in that Super Bowl in 2022. And, I don't know if necessarily any other moment gets bigger than that than Super Bowl in 2025. So, for me, I'm excited. I'm excited to get out there. We had a bad taste in our mouth last year, losing. But, we'll have Shiesty back in action, and we'll see how it goes.
Joe Shiesty.
He's a huge man, isn't he?
6'8", 350, right around there.
That's a huge man.
Both, and then this Amarius Mims dude that they just drafted in the first round is about 6'7", 6'8", too. So, yeah, these dudes are just absolute giants out there on the field. So you can hear it in his voice. He seems to be pretty calm about the situation, right? Like, you're going to be, I'm sure that day, probably a little jacked up. But the fact that you've done that already, I think you can kind of handle your emotions there pretty well. But yeah, that was a good pickup for them, Orlando Brown, because we talked for a couple off seasons that offensive line, not great in front of Joe Burrow. So it seems like they're trying to piece that thing together, and the right tackle situation is going to be interesting to see with Trent Brown and Mims going at it throughout camp.
I think the cliche fits. Every time, anytime you play the Kansas City Chiefs, it's a playoff atmosphere.
You're locked in.
It is. You cannot go against a team that's going for a three-peat and not show up. You'll be embarrassed. And they know that they're the measuring stick, despite having, good results against them. Mm-hmm. That Burrow has been very good against Mahomes. Mm-hmm. But it's going to take everybody. And you look at the Bengals' schedule, and if they could go in there and pull that off, their schedule to start this year is very doable, Mr. Costanza. New England, at Kansas City, home against Washington, at Carolina, then the Ravens come in.
Their defense just needs to be a lot better.
It does.
That's the big thing. I got confidence that their offense is going to be good. If Joe Shiesty, a.k.a. Joe Burrow's out there, their offense is going to be good. We all know that. But their defense was a mess last year. I mean, you're 31st in the league in yards per game. Sweet Lou, he's got to get those guys in order and get that lined up correctly, because that's what it's going to take to go into Kansas City and upset them. I don't know, it's an upset, right? They're kind of on their level, but that's what they have to get fixed, is a defense that was not good a year ago.
No doubt. People ran it down their throats. That has to get better. Even though it's a passing league, you have to be good fundamentally at that. And then the other thing is, you said you're right on the level, but there is something about going to Arrowhead and beating them, that does feel upset worthy. You beat Kansas City in their building.
They got confidence. To your point, you mentioned it, right? Because Mike Hilton, those guys were yelling at the crowd last year. I think it was Buffalo or 2 years ago. We're going to Arrowhead and all that stuff. So they got confidence that they can go in there. Hey, we got to mention this before we go to break. Their depth on defense did take an unfortunate hit today because defensive end Cam Sample, who was a draft pick a couple years ago, he tore his Achilles. So obviously that's very, very unfortunate with how tough that injury is. But we know Sam Hubbard, Trey Hendrickson are dudes that can get after the passer. But I've been calling for Miles Murphy to step up, a former first-round pick. But their depth took a hit today in that defensive end room. Cam Sample's going to miss the year.
Yeah, he's been around a little bit. He was a rotational guy for them, and he could get after the quarterback a little bit, and he's played in the playoff games. You're right. I'm glad you put it that way as a depth piece. And played for the Green Wave down there in Nolens. Yeah. All right, we come back and we talk to our friend Ray Fittipaldo and the quarterback battle in Pittsburgh. How real is it now? Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Experience a piece of history this September and pay tribute to those that have served in the Vietnam War. Delaware County Veterans Services invites you to visit the Wall That Heals from September 12th through the 15th at Havener Park in Liberty Township. Witness the official 3/4 scale replica of the Vietnam Memorial in Washington, D.C. The Wall That Heals is free and open to the public 24 hours a day until 2 p.m. on the 15th. For volunteering opportunities and to learn more, please visit thewallthathealsohio.com.
Hey, it's Anthony for the Good Feet store. 3 words for me: pain-free summer. Spent probably 30 hours walking around the Memorial Tournament and felt awesome with my personal arch supports from the Good Feet store in my everyday kicks. Sure, every now and then we all get random foot pain from pickleball or golf or just being a human being. Having my personally fit arch supports in my shoes has made a massive difference. And even right after I put them in, didn't take long to feel much more supported and aligned, and it's so easy to just move them into any pair. Before I had them, I dreaded being on my feet for any length of time. Well, you have nothing to lose but the pain, as they say. It's a free fitting and test walk. Try them for yourself. See the difference it can make. It did for me. And best of all, you can wear them home. 2 locations on Polaris Parkway and Stringtown Road, or schedule an appointment at goodfeet.com. The Good Feet store, America's arch supports experts.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
It's time for Cleveland Browns preseason football, baby. Catch the Brownies and Packers live from the land.
Live coverage starts Saturday at 4.
Your Central Ohio home for Browns football, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place. And aspiring comedian.
That's fun. What's your best joke?
All right, 2 windows were hanging out side by side. The first window says, "Sure is a hot day." The other one says, "Ah, a talking window."
That's pretty good, Wilson.
Bet you can't top that one.
Well, at Pella, we don't have the talking windows, but we do have the windows your friends will talk about.
Dang it, that's good.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rate the leading and most trusted at PellaColumbus.com.
With surgery and drugs being the main options to treat chronic joint pain, that left orthopedic surgeons like Dr. Ray Tessner thinking,
geez, wouldn't it be nice if we can have another form of treatment that eliminates some of the downside and has a bigger upside as we learn more about it?
And then he found it. Regenerative medicine, an exciting, fast-growing approach to dealing with pain using healing agents from your own body.
Well, it's using the miracle benefits of the human body to help encourage healing.
Today, you'll find Dr. Tessner at QC Connect. Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, giving patients lasting relief from joint pain in their knees, hips, shoulders, and back.
It's one of the best management tools that has come around in a long time.
Finally, options other than surgery and steroids. All natural regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics. Learn more. Call today for your free consultation.
Go to qckinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Billiards Plus has everything for the master griller in your house. Come to their showroom, open the lid, and feel the difference in their grills. Professional top quality equipment at great prices with a huge selection ready to go home with you. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Does our waiter look familiar?
I think he was the Plum Insurance mascot.
If all insurance companies were like NJM and didn't use gimmicks, then their mascots would have to get real jobs.
That explains the long purple hair in my soup.
No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Their live golf team name is Ice Dogs. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, Steeler fan maybe thinking that the roles might reverse here to start the season. Who knows? Maybe they got a little enjoyment out of seeing the headline, Maddie, that ex-Steeler quarterback Kenny Pickett gets taken down a peg at Eagles training camp. Oh, God. Maybe they got a little consolation out of that. Ray Fittipaldo is with us, our guy from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. He's on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Ray, it's good to have you, my man. How you feeling?
Good afternoon, guys. I'm doing well.
All right, so Justin Fields is the story of training camp right now. Is this a blessing in disguise, and that this is what Steeler fan wants because they want to know if they have a future? Can the roles reverse here before the season, or do you think that Russell Wilson still has that pole position Mike Tomlin talked about?
Yeah, I mean, guys, I think this is a blessing in disguise for everyone in that building except for Russell Wilson. And I don't think Russell Wilson is in danger of losing his starting job if he comes back and, within the next week or 10 days. I mean, we're still, a month out from the regular season. But these reps have been really good for Justin Fields in his development. I've been pleasantly surprised by what I've seen from him. Relatively low expectations coming in. The Steelers, all they had to give Chicago was a 6th-round pick for him. He's kind of run through the ringer there. So I didn't really have high expectations, but he's gotten better. I mean, that first week there were some good throws. There were some bad throws. This past week they put on the pads, and those bad throws there weren't as many this past week. So he's definitely benefited, and no matter what happens with Russell Wilson and that calf injury, I think they can go into the season feeling like they can win with Justin Fields if it does come to that.
Ray, I saw you guys got a quote over at the Post-Gazette, from Arthur Smith, and he talked about Justin being a dangerous football player, and that he adds a different element to this offense. To your eye, being out there, watching how he's gone about his business, has that different element jumped off the turf to you? Like, what have you seen to connect that with what Arthur Smith is saying about Justin right now?
Yeah, and I think, honestly, we've probably only seen about 10 to 15% of the game plan if Justin Fields would be the starter. We've seen some design runs, and they had one in their goal line drill the other day where it was a read option. He kept it and just walked into the end zone because the defense, you don't see that every day, unless you're playing Baltimore or, maybe one or two other teams in the NFL. So having to account for that quarterback in the running game is going to be an adjustment for a lot of teams, with Justin Fields out there. So I don't think we've seen the full Justin Fields yet. I think, if he does end up playing this year for Russell Wilson at any point, I do think you'll see a lot of design runs. It won't be the same offense that it is for Russell Wilson. And, I think Arthur Smith would do a great job with that. When you have a guy with the skill set of Justin Fields, really, how many other quarterbacks in the league can run it and throw it like he does? Lamar Jackson, maybe a couple others. I guess you could put Mahomes in there, even though he creates his yardage in other ways with his feet. But those guys are unique, and when you have them, you have to use them. And I think Arthur Smith will find a way to do that.
Yeah, Ray. I think a lot of people think the offense in Pittsburgh will be improved this season with the new OC and if the quarterback shines a little bit. I do have a question about the Najee Harris, Jaylen Warren. I know Najee's essentially playing for a new contract, how much that motivates him, how much they're going to invest in him at this point. Or because all I've ever heard is that, hey, Jaylen Warren's one of the best backup running backs in the NFL. He's eventually going to swallow this up and take this lead. How will they deploy this backfield?
Yeah, well, let me first just say Najee's been really good. Jalen's been even better. I mean, that guy just continues to get better. He's in his third year now, and the jump he's made from his rookie year when he was an undrafted free agent to where he is now is night and day. And he was really good as a rookie too. But he's got a unique burst. He's great as a receiver out of the backfield, and he's their best pass protector. So I think for most other teams, he would probably play, 70, 80% of the snaps. I think with the Steelers, you still have a guy who's a first-round pick. You still want to use him. I would expect it's probably still going to be an even distribution of snaps somewhere along the 50-50 line where it was last season. But don't be surprised at all, guys, if Warren at some point during the season does become the featured back. If it's 60-40 by the end of the year, I would not be surprised. Jaylen Warren is that good of a running back.
Does Najee still get the goal line carries? Or is it...
They just did short yardage yesterday. It had 7 snaps from the one. Warren got 2 and Harris got 2. So, okay. Just because Warren is like 5'8", 205, something like that, they're not afraid to use him down there. Mm-hmm. I happen to think Najee's a little bit better down there just because of his length, and he's got a nose for the goal line. He's been good in goal-to-go situations. So I think Najee is probably their better option when they get inside the 10, but, Jaylen Warren is fine down there too. I think, like I just said, I think they have a really good backfield there. Both those guys are going to get their carries, and, by the time the season gets here, they'll have a pretty good feel for which part of the field those guys will help the team the most.
Ray, are we going to be looking at a world this year with the pass catchers that Pat Freiermuth is going to emerge as the second, let's say, leading receiver on this team outside of Pickens? Like, what have you seen as far as the pass catchers in the early portion of camp here and how that's looking?
Yeah, Pickens looks really good, but I think you're on the right track. I think both in terms of targets and catches and probably yards, maybe not yards. I think Pat Freiermuth, who's in a contract year, there's some talk that he can get a new deal here before the season begins, will probably be the number 2 receiver. But I got to tell you, Van Jefferson has had a good camp, and no one has heard from Van Jefferson since that 2021 season with the Rams when he helped them win a Super Bowl. He was the number 2 to Cooper Kupp. He's dealt with injuries the last couple of years. He was traded from the Rams to the Falcons last year, which is really, that's why he's here, because he's got that connection with Arthur Smith. So among the receivers in camp, Quez Watkins, Scotty Miller, rookie third-round pick Roman Wilson is down now because of an ankle injury. Among all those other receivers, Van Jefferson is now clearly the number 2. He's had a good camp. So, if there's a number 3 behind Pickens and Freiermuth right now, I think it would be Van Jefferson.
All right, my man. Great job. I was Maddie's got one more for you.
Real quick, I know one of the big offseason signings that people got excited about on defense was Patrick Queen. How,'s he settling in right now?
Yeah, he's a little bit banged up. They held a Friday night lights practice that was really physical, and I think he turned his ankle a couple of days ago. So I'm not sure if he's going to play against the Texans on Friday night, but high expectations for this guy. Speed was a big thing for the Steelers last year in the middle of the field. They really lacked it. So by adding Queen and third-round pick Peyton Wilson out of NC State, they think they've solved that problem. So between those two guys, once they get on the field, I think we will see Wilson on Friday night. Once they get on the field, I think you'll see a big difference in the middle of that defense with the speed, the ability to go sideline to sideline with those two guys.
He is our Pittsburgh Steeler correspondent. He is the one and only Ray Fittipaldo. Nice to have you on, Ray. We'll be in touch, man. Appreciate you.
All right, guys. Appreciate it. See you.
He's on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fangus hotline. I looked up some numbers on Jaylen Warren.
Yeah.
And here's why they're so tantalized by him. He was top 3 in yards after contact per attempt. He was 4th in breakaway rush rate, and he was 2nd in missed tackles forced per attempt.
Okay.
That's him, even though he's not a big man.
So
he's just so strong.
You're saying he's him? Is that what you're saying?
I feel like he could be him.
He's explosive.
Najee's him too, though.
It jumps off the screen when Jaylen Warren gets the rock. There's more juice there.
There is.
For sure. And
5.3 yards a carry. Harris 4.1.
Yeah, man. He's impressive. He really is. And we know Arthur Smith, he likes to run that rock. So they're going to have their opportunities. They took 2 offensive linemen in the 1st and 2nd round this year, so we'll be interested to see how those rookies pan out. But, yeah, Jaylen Warren, there's definitely a lot to like. I'm with you.
I got the fortune to hang out with Jerome Bettis this weekend. And he might get a carry or 2. He probably has 1 more carry left.
Oh, yeah.
1 more goal line carry.
He's falling in.
I think.
He's falling in the end zone.
Absolutely. All right, we come back and we tell the truth. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Common Man and T-Bone are idiots. You should listen to them anyway.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan, Ohio's idiot destination.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play, from the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar.
Whether it's a walk-off granny or a base hit to center field, whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 and older, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Baths R Us, we're terrible roofers. We stink at installing siding. And don't ever call us for your kitchen remodel. But if you want a stunning, beautiful bathroom makeover in just 2 or 3 days, now that's when you want to call us. See, unlike most contractors these days, we offer only one service: bathroom remodeling. We don't spread ourselves thin by doing roofing or siding and a bunch of other stuff. Nope. At Baths R Us, we dedicate every company resource into mastering the craft of bath transformations. It's why we're the Midwest's biggest 5-star family-owned bathroom company. And it's why we have the happiest customers. Just check out our Google reviews. Baths R Us. We're terrible roofers, but we're awesome bathroom remodelers. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement, or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, loan to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate, or go to bathsrus.com. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
Hi, it's me, Little Bob from Bob's Discount Furniture. I know, you don't know me yet, but I'm here to let you know that I'm opening up 2 brand new showrooms in the Columbus area, located in Reynoldsburg and Polaris, bringing even more of my everyday low prices to the people of Ohio. And if you can't wait, MyBobs.com is the quickest and easiest way to get unbeatable furniture prices delivered straight to your home today. That's my 2 brand new Bob's Discount Furniture stores coming to Reynoldsburg and Polaris this summer.
Get Bob's Discount! Your Saturdays are now full, and Sundays. And don't forget about Monday and Thursdays, too. You know the drill. It's football season. We are your home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and the NFL. If you change the channel, you're a loser. The Fan.
Hey friends, Brandon Beam here for Truehold. Home values in the city, well, they're sky high. We know that. You have a ton of equity. Your financial advisor thinks the market is peaked. So if you're thinking about selling, it's the right time. Except for 2 things. High interest rates are going to burn you on a new home loan, and you're not ready to move. Savvy financial advisors suggest Truehold's new Sell and Stay program. It's ingenious because they buy your home now while its value is high, but you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Pretty smart, right? Truehold is going to make you a solid cash offer, not a lowball offer like the others, and it's based on your home's current value. The cash is yours to travel, pay off bills, secure your retirement, and do whatever you want with it. It's your cash. And again, you can stay in your home with a comfortable lease. Truehold covers property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. See how much Truehold will pay for your home today. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. Again, that's Truehold.com.
There's never a good time for your furnace or air conditioner to stop working. But we're honored that for the past 100 years, Atlas Butler customers have relied on us the night before Thanksgiving, the day before their wedding, and even Christmas morning for fast, convenient service. Your trust means everything. Call today, get it fixed today. That's our pledge to you.
Common Man and T-Bone here. Visit Hollywood Casino Columbus this summer for exciting live sports action. We got the biggest screens around, and ESPN Bet is live in Ohio.
Plus, Penn Play Rewards members can win up to $500 Penn Cash every week. Visit PennPlaySports.com/cover5 today and register for your chance to play and win.
Not a member? Get the Penn Play app today.
Hollywood Casino Columbus is your live sports headquarters.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
All right, CB, take us home.
All right, today, many national days of today, but we will do National Root Beer Float Day. Now, if you go to an old-style ice cream shop or even a modern one, you can find yourself a very nice root beer float. But my question to you is, tell the truth. When you're going into that ice cream shop, how likely are you to get one?
It's
0.
Yeah, it's very unlikely for your boy. If I'm going to an ice cream shop, it's just all about, like the toppings and the fudge and the caramel and just all of that good stuff. Like a root beer float, you got to miss me with that. It's a no for me, dog.
So it was a yes for me, dog, back in the day as a kid. But no, I don't need, if you're going to scoop 3 big balls of ice cream into a nice little glass like that, I don't need to pour root beer over it.
And don't you have to rush to kind of
the ice cream? No rush.
The ice cream's going to melt and all that? Or no, am I off in that?
You mean where the root beer will dilute the ice cream faster?
Yeah,
but here's the deal. If I'm going to get something that takes a straw versus a spoon, I'm probably going to go with a malt of some kind.
What's the difference between a malt and a milkshake?
That's a great question. I'm going to be obvious and say it's that some kind of malted milk powder or some kind of... Yeah, okay. I think it's like a malted milk ball. Oh. You ever have those?
I can tell you for a fact that is exactly the difference.
All right, so have you guys ever had the candy, malted milk balls, right? Isn't that what they are?
Like Whoppers?
Yes, a Whopper.
That's exactly it.
Maddie,
the Whoppers are good.
They are incredible. Now, a Whopper... Not at the old BK Lounge, but a Whopper. The Whopper.
Was that a Dane Cook reference?
No.
Oh, he did a skit way back when about the BK Lounge. Okay.
Oh, no, that's just what we all used to call it back in the day. Whoppers are malted milk. It's a malted milk ball. So good.
Yeah, I'm in on that.
And so underrated. I'm changing my whole candy choice now when it comes to Halloween. It's when we rank them.
You want Whoppers?
So good.
I'll tell you what, that sounds pretty good. Like if I went to the movies and got my popcorn, sprinkle a couple of those Whoppers in there. Let me get a little of that sweet and savory vibe popping off. I'm in on Whoppers.
Yeah, back to your original question about root beer float. It sounds delightful. I'm not going to turn it down if someone slid one in front of me. But it's one of those, if you said I got to order something, probably not where I'm going.
Yeah, no.
Because if your options are, hot fudge and you get all that,
ice cream sandwich, waffle cone with chocolate on it,
That's right.
That's the type of party we need to be going to.
You can't handle the truth.
All right, I'm putting you in the office of Charlie Baker, head of the NCAA, with this next question. You have to make a prediction, tell the truth on the exact punishment for Michigan with this notice of allegations whenever it comes out.
Listen, I think Sharon's got to be suspended probably a half a dozen games. I would say.
Ooh, really?
Okay. Well, if deleting investigation stuff, and
I just
here you told me this isn't a prediction. This is just off the top of my head, knee-jerk reaction. He sits for 6. They get a bowl ban this year, and they vacate any win that was associated with Connor Stallions. Done. Good night. Put it in an envelope. Seal it. Send it off. And then we all move forward. But there can't be just double secret probation. Stallions is gone. Harbaugh left. We won without Stallions. Okay. I'm not here to scientifically prove that you couldn't win, but you used him. And you got to pay for it. And this whole, everybody might have been doing it or this or that. To that level,
No.
Come on. And more than he knew about it. And this wasn't just great intel that he was providing. They knew he was providing it. Maybe they had plausible deniability on hey, don't tell us how you got it. We don't know anything. You're on your own. Buck stops with you. Full power of attorney.
Yeah.
Bud Fox this thing, Gordon Gekko. But I feel like, now, take what I just said and probably cut it in half.
I was at 3 games.
That's there.
But I feel
Just
like yours is more appropriate, though. For that kind of punishment fits the crime to me, what you said. I feel like I'd be letting them off the hook if I was, Charlie Baker? Is that his name? I don't know that.
How about this? If you're him and they gave you what you said, are you like quietly saying, all right, let's act angry, but let's just kind of take it, keep your heads down, move on.
3 games. Yeah, run me that all day and tomorrow. But yeah, yours is much more appropriate than mine. I like yours.
Did you say I know my truth?
I know my truth.
All right, today's fan poll, I think, wants to figure out who's going to be the quarterback number 2 for Ohio State, because the question is phrased like this.
Who does number 2 work for?
Which Ohio State quarterback will take the most or more snaps this season? Will it be Devin Brown, Julian Sayin, Lincoln Kienholz, or Aaron Noland?
There's this Julian Sayin stuff, CB, and this is no disrespect to Devin, because I respect what the heck the guy has done, his decision to stay here and all that stuff. But my mind goes to what they want to set up for 25 and beyond. And I think Julian Sayin is going to be that guy. Obviously, a lot could change, but I think to bring it back to this year, I'm gonna go with Julian Sayin. This weekend, you read some stuff. He was working with the 1s and 11 on 11s and all that. So they're giving him his shot, and the talent is there. So I'm going with him.
You're saying he gets the most snaps outside of Will Howard?
Yeah.
Is that your question?
That's essentially how the fan poll is phrased today.
So we're going on the assumption that Will Howard is the starter, and then we're talking about total snaps for the season outside of Howard. Wow. Well, Brown's got to stay healthy, and I would choose him. I just think his RPO ability, I think that Sayin could get some pretty good mop-up time in some games. Kienholz was one that got scolded for taking the sack in the spring game. I'm going to play chalk here and go Devin. I just think it's too close right now, and I think that he could take some snaps in the red zone. And although you really don't need him, Will Howard's going to get those. Hey, give me Devin, but I like Maddie's choice here. It feels a little more exciting.
He ain't lying.
AR on Friday and fill in the blanks. I brought up this question to both Tyvis and Matty Ice, and I think I need to bring it to the table for you. It was a fill in the blank of how many quarterbacks will have at least one live rep in the non-conference schedule for Ohio State this year, out of the 5 guys possible.
4. What'd you say?
I think I said all 5.
You say all of them? Even Air?
Yeah, and I didn't love what I was hearing about Air coming out of the weekend.
Yeah,
he seems like he's the odd man out right now. It's early, but it doesn't seem great right now. You going 4?
I thought Coach said we're going to need all of them.
Well, you know. Gotta play the game sometimes, right? Gotta play the game. Yeah. You going 5?
Well, I went with the 4 that played in the spring game, right? So I'll stick with that.
The truth shall set you free.
If you miss anything from our show, wherever you get your podcast, type in Rothman and Ice. All of our interviews, segments, everything we do will be there waiting for you. Coming up next on Common Man and T-Bone, Jason Stark talks about how bad the White Sox are, and apparently Mike's wearing sunglasses for 3 hours. So make sure you watch that on YouTube.
I lied. Aaron Noland did get in this. He played in the spring game, too. So all 5 did play in the spring. Okay, so he must have played late in the second half. Okay. All right, well, there you go. I'm going to stick with you need all of them. We'll come back tomorrow. Do it again at high noon. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan. This is a Fan Action Update.
Big Ten Action Update. The Nebraska Cornhuskers are tied for the 7th best odds to win the Big Ten this year at 65-1. Tied with Washington, the Cornhuskers' season win totals at 7.5 games. Nebraska's non-conference schedule includes games against UTEP, Colorado, and Northern Iowa. Week 1, Nebraska's a 27.5-point favorite over UTEP. For your Action Update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
it's Bobby Carpenter, and championship teams need to have two things, heart and soul. Well, at Monogram Homes, they know a thing or two about heart and soul of a new custom home. My friend Bob and his team at Monogram take pride in offering a true custom home building experience. They will take your ideas, your vision, and transform them into the home of your dreams. So let Monogram Homes pour their heart, their soul into your new custom home today. Check them out online at monogramhomes.net. That's monogramhomes.net.
Have you lost Ohio Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Welcome to Nada Yada Island. This season on Nada Yada Island.
You were charging your phone? I waited hours for you.
That's how long it takes.
Join Metro and get a free Motorola Edge that'll charge for the day in 15 minutes. At Metro, there's no activation fees. Only at Metro by T-Mobile.
Bring your number ID and sign up for Metro Flex Plus plan. Offer not available if at T-Mobile or have been with Metro in the past 180 days. Requires 68-watt charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary.
Hey, it's Anthony for the Good Feet store. 3 words for me, pain-free summer. Spent probably 30 hours walking around the Memorial Tournament and felt awesome with my personal arch supports from the Good Feet store in my everyday kicks. Sure, every now and then we all get random foot pain from pickleball or golf or just being a human being. Having my personally fit arch supports in my shoes has made a massive difference. And even right after I put them in, didn't take long to feel much more supported and aligned, and it's so easy to just move them into any pair. Before I had them, I dreaded being on my feet for any length of time. Well, you have nothing to lose but the pain, as they say. It's a free fitting and test walk. Try them for yourself. See the difference it can make. It did for me. And best of all, you can wear them home. 2 locations on Polaris Parkway and Stringtown Road, or schedule an appointment at goodfeet.com. The Good Feet store, America's arch supports experts.
End the summer with Zumbizi Bay. Soak up the sunshine and dive into an unforgettable experience for the whole family. Get your tickets now and make your final splash at zumbizibay.com.
Hey, it's Bobby. When it comes to tackling a project as important as your roof, you want a company that cares about the product and experience they're going to deliver. At Newman Roofing, you're more than just a number. They believe in 100% customer satisfaction. And for your roofing needs, give them a call at 614-NEW-ROOF or Newman Roofing.